What's up, sickos? It's me, Big Bested, and this is Don't Call Me Diva. We are here only to talk about women's wrestling. I run down the weekly matches of AEW and ROH, and we learn about the wrestlers who face them. I discuss lore. I make up lore. We fantasy book. We waffle off on tangents and come back around. We make up songs, and that is the Don't Call Me Diva promise. Sickos. Yo, it is episode 14 of the show, and it is a special one today because, as you know, my sickos, we just had double or nothing in Glendale, Arizona. Love you, Glendale, Arizona. You are on the newly created crowd list, which I will get into later. But we have some amazing sicko guests to introduce to you. These three lovely men were at the show and they are awesome. And I am going to introduce them to you one by one right now. First up, we have the amazing Jim. Welcome to the show, Jim. Introduce yourself, my lovely man.
Thanks. Nice to meet you, Bex, after talking online for so much time. I'm the JIMDB from your various socials, popping off to talk about horror movies and AEW mainly, but talking about Double or Nothing today.
Double or nothing today. He is a very, very good man. Wonderful sicko. Second up on our list of introductions is Sir Eric. Woo! Welcome to the show, Eric.
Hi guys,
Introduce yourself, my love.
what's happening? Yeah, I was at Double or Nothing, and I had the time of my life, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. And
so
Bex
excited.
is the homie.
I just can't hide it. She's a singing homie from down under, and that song will make sense later. And last but definitely not least, the wonderful producer behind the back scenes of Don't Call Me Diva. I almost forgot my own show. It is Shane. Woo!
How we
Welcome
doing, everybody?
facially to the show.
Thank you.
Introduce
Thank you.
yourself,
I'm
please.
very happy to be here on camera today. And you can catch me and my brother Eric on Shoot Style Sessions on the Ethos Media Network. We're actually also co-celebrating the same episode number. What is this, 13?
Yes, sir.
14.
14? We're on 14.
We have 14.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're on 14 as well. We started at the same time as Bex, and it's a wonderful stable that we have going here in the Sickos Club, you know.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Sickos for life.
Sickos for life. Sickos for life. Exactly. New sicko order.
Oh, I love that. I love that drop. That's fire.
Oh, you're doing the Thunder Rosa thing? How do you do that? Is that what you're doing? Like her Thunderbolt thing? No? What are you doing?
I'm trying to do the S for sicko, but can't figure out what
There it is.
Put it in the.
That's the right way.
Put it in the.
There you
Nope.
go. You got it.
You had
Nice,
it there for a second. Wait, let me see if I can. No, it was this way. There you go.
Yeah, it was that
That's the
way.
one. That's the
That's
one.
the S, yeah.
Okay, where am I?
My hands are
Oh,
too
no.
big for that. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm just an uncoordinated motherfucker, so you're never gonna get that
Me
out
too.
of me.
Hey, you guys know what we're trying to do. You know what we're representing.
Audio listeners, you can just fill in the blanks with your own imagination of what the fuck we are doing right now. This is going to be a fun show, everybody. We're going to we're going to run down everything that happened in Double or Nothing because I don't know, I kind of feel a little bit. I mean, we are a women's wrestling podcast. We will be only like delving into like the women's matches and everything that went on before, after, and all that kind of shimmity sham. But you know, it's like honorable mentions on the way down. Because I don't know, I just feel weird to just be like, the whole amazing show happened, but only a little women are in it, you know? So we won't be doing all that kind of shimmy sham. So, you guys, when you're at the show, so obviously you were all there for the buy-in?
Yes.
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 We walked, me and Shane basically walked in during the middle of the Anna J. Harley Cameron versus Penelope Ford and
Megan Bain
match.
Oh, bugger. So
I was there
you
for
missed
the.
a little bit.
I was seated.
So we got to see about half of it.
Oh, you got to see half of it. Okay. It was a bloody good match. as you guys all know, I'd be going mental over this match, and they're all like matching gear and everything. And you've listened to this show enough times, you know that I love gear. And Anna Jay and Harley, and they're matching like black and silver with the stars coming over from Anna Jay's into Harley's. It was just brilliant. And their new music that now like is meshed, but not meshed in that like really dumb way, like actually like beautifully entwined with each other, you know? It's like, and then they come out and they're both like in the same fucking zone and they're all like pumped. Jim, you would have had like a brilliant view of like the entrances, eh?
Yeah, I was right on the edge of like being able to see behind the signs kind of a little bit. But yeah, I got a nice picture of Anna Jay and Harley coming out.
Oh, did you? And also, I go over it all the time, but like the Megan Bain and Penelope Ford entrance is so iconic, like
For sure.
insanely, right? Like was
Th-
like
They come out
everyone
like
knows my opinion.
they come out like goddesses.
I know, right? Oh, it just looks so good. And how like it's all beautifully choreographed with the music, like everything Penelope does. And then Megan comes out and it's like they contrast, but they work together. Oh, I love it. 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 I love it.
I don't know whose idea it was to put Penelope Ford and Megan Bain together, but whoever's idea it was.
Oh yeah, bravo. Oh, absolutely. Fucking yeah, claps all round. Like it was weird, like, but it made complete sense in a weird kind of way. And I mean, if we're gonna like, also don't call me Diva Land, boys, if you're not quite aware, is full in kayfabe. So go crazy, go live your you live your kayfabe fantasy, but just stepping out just ever so slightly into real life. They do have the common denominator of Joey Janela, so
Can you
maybe
explain that, please?
they both.
No.
Well,
I knew about
Absolutely
the Megan
not.
Bain part, but not the Penelope Ford part.
Yeah, that's the
So-
part I'm confused on. What are you talking about?
So they dated on and off. Joey Janela
Okay.
and no, not Joey. Yeah, it is Joey Janela. For a second, I was like Joey Ryan. I'm saying Joey Ryan. No, Joey Janela. Yeah, him and Penelope dated on and off. I think we were around like 2019 ish. I think
Pre-demic,
around.
probably, I think.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
think it was
That is
pre-pandemic.
interesting.
Yeah, and it was for a few years, but it was like on and off kind of thing.
By the
Yeah.
time AEW started, they were split.
Yes. I think that's been split for maybe. I think he was with yeah, like some like I think they were both like with someone else by the time.
I wonder if-
yeah.
I wonder if that was a conversation at any point.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a common denominator, and I would like wouldn't be surprised if like they were like in situations where they would like spar in the ring together. You know, like as far as I know, like everything's been amicable. You know, so like good
Exactly.
relations and
That's
stuff.
why I'm
so
like, that's really interesting in a very
Yeah.
good way. Like I'm
very good way.
like that's dope that they obviously get along on that level because they've been teaming together with seemingly no issues at all
None.
between
It's
anybody, any of the parties.
Everybody
that's,
won.
That's pretty dope. That's
I
dope.
hate,
Salute to
I
them.
hate to be a gossip queen, but
Ooh.
one thing I do want to say is that sometimes, based off certain people's Instagrams that I just follow, it's interesting to see the relationships that people are in. And it's funny because I don't think a lot of people even know, but Anna Jay and Jungle Boy, aka Jack Perry, are like happily in a relationship and have been for like maybe like 2, maybe going on like 3+ years now.
I think they've been together
Probably
since the
3.
beginning of AEW. Like I think
Yeah.
pretty much when he was Jungle Boy, like him and
Yeah.
Luchasaurus, and they, you know what I mean? Like I think they were together back then.
And that's
You
why I
guys
brought up the
just
name
surprised
Jungle
us.
Boy, because they were back together back
Oh, really?
then.
Well, you know, we had that
Exactly.
rumor going around, you know, within the clubhouse for a while that Takeshita and
Oh yeah. I knew about that
Yuka
for
were
ages.
together. Well,
Yeah,
because
I've
Oh.
known about them for ages.
but I thought we were speculating though because we just saw pictures and we were like, they might be together, but they haven't like flat out said it. Or did we actually know?
No. Like I knew.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
loop.
Definitely knew. No.
One of the ones that came up as such a surprise to me was
Yeah.
when Ruby Soho and
Angela.
what's my man's name? Cool Hand
Angela Parker.
Luke.
Cool Hand Ange.
Angela.
Cool Hand Ange, yeah.
Mm.
They ended up like together on screen for a little bit, and then it was like 3 weeks later, it was like, hey, we're pregnant. It was like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm pregnant and I gotta take off
Right.
TV. Like, oh wow, okay.
He's got those
That's
cool
why
hands.
they put
it
you
was
together
like,
on
wow,
screen.
that happened so fast.
I thought it'd be
And
Daddy Magic.
storyline wise, yeah.
Maybe he was sprinkling some daddy magic.
Just a little
That's right.
taste.
A little taste of the nipples.
That's all you need.
But no,
That's all
it's
you need is a little
insane.
bit of hard nipples from Daddy
Oh,
Magic,
just
and
a
it makes
little bit.
everything better.
Right. See,
That's
this
all I'm
guy
saying.
knows.
Oh,
This guy
that's so
knows.
funny.
Well,
I'm just
it's
saying.
like why not have a little like love little reminisce about what we've got going on, because we've got a few little adorable little couples, because you've got like them, and then you've got, like as we said, Penelope and Kip. And well, I mean, like Joey Janela is not in AEW, but he was in AEW and seems to, be good in the backstage and everything. Who else we got, people? My mind's gone blank.
There's
I
a
was just
lot.
saying that they're already there, but there is a lot. We got Kyle and Sky Blue. Did you guys
Yeah.
see the backstage video? Backstage pictures
I'm
of Sky
jealous
Blue
of
and
Kyle
Kyle?
Fletcher.
Have you seen the pictures though of their
I
from
see.
Sky Blue's
I see all of them. I
Instagram?
follow her on Instagram. I see all of
Aren't they the sweetest though? Oh, it's so sweet. He's like doing up her little battle gear and stuff, and he's putting her hit. Oh, fucking
It's
Eric
very
killed
loves
me.
them. They
Sky
do
Blue like
look.
how I love Layla Gray.
I can't even lie. They do look good together, but I be hating
Ah.
a little bit.
No, you're allowed. That's okay. You're allowed.
But
You're allowed.
but
We'll
you know
allow a
what
little.
though? He is like such a good wrestler that
Oh.
like I can't even hate. So it's like
That's true. That's true. He can come out in all of his like cunty glory, and it's cool. It's like no, sir, you're allowed. It's allowed.
Comes on
Carry on.
shoulder pads with like nipple circles or something. He just crazy shit.
I hate to say that he's a young Randy Orton, but just a little more
Oh,
high flyer.
absolutely.
I hate to say that, and I know a lot of people will not like me for saying that, but he reminds me a lot of Randy Orton. He really
To
does.
be honest, those people probably don't watch this show, so
That's
Oh
probably
yeah,
true.
that's a very good point.
the people
That's
that
a
have a
very
problem with that, they don't even watch this show.
I've said many a thing that has not come back to haunt me as yet, so I think you'll be cool. But no, you're not the only person who says that, dude. Like I've heard many people refer to Kyle Fletcher as like, a younger RKO without being like too like, he is RKO, because he's obviously not. But with the vibe and the physique and the arrogance and the push, and it's just all fucking natural to him as well. Like, it's all good. And he gets the nipples out, like, hey. That's just some weird shit there, though. But who else we got going on? Before we waffle on too much on Kyle Fletcher's nipples, who else is to get? I'm sure I'm. Oh yeah, so we've got Jungle Boy Jack and Anna Jay. Like you said, they've been together for like almost probably like 5 years, maybe 4,
Maybe like
Yeah.
4 or 5. Like they got some time in.
Yeah,
Hell
they do.
yeah.
Like the
Hi,
one
Mel.
week that
Of course, Ty and Sammy. Shout out to
Yep.
them and the baby.
Yeah, and they have a bubba together.
Always doing
Ruby
hilarious things
Soho.
on Instagram as a
Tony
family.
Storm and
Yeah.
Tony
And
Storm
Juice.
and
Juice.
Yes.
what's my yep.
I
Yep,
think
Juice
Colton and
Robinson.
Mariah, unfortunately.
They're
And you know
married.
what? They are Tony Storm and
Colton and Mariah are married.
they make so much sense together because they are both equally as insane.
It's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
wrestling reality show I need.
Yeah,
Oh,
Their
100%.
life is the
100%.
only wrestling reality show I need.
100%.
Gives me everything I need in that kind of aspect right there. I'm done. I'm happy.
10 $10 a month, I'm in. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like it's cheap.
Juice
It's
would
cheap
be in the
comparison.
crib wildin'.
Just yelling.
I mean, I think the one
They
couple
would
that's
both
fun
be
to
the
speculate.
whole show would be them both just yelling obscene things.
Yeah.
But, guys,
Probably
can we
trying to pop the
fantasy book the
other.
relationship? We have Swerve and Mercedes of like that fake relationship.
Well,
Like,
I
is it a
I
thing?
think the
Like, is it not a thing?
We yeah. In our head canon, everybody in the Sickos Club for sure has them together.
They might as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
They might as well
It's all
do it.
just based off subtle Instagram shit. We're like, that looks kind of coupley. Y'all are together.
The placement of the hand, you know, like, oh, okay, like his hand wouldn't be there. And I had the same thing with like my fiance, and I was like, but look at the pictures. And he's like, what? They're just like, you know, it's like, no, but come on, come over here. And I had to like get him over to me, and I'm like, look, we're gonna do a demonstration. We're just friends, and I'm gonna put your hand here. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, see. It's like
Yup.
in that inch of like, you know, intimacy hug, you know, it's got the little like protective little, you know, slightly above the hips kind of right there. So yeah, and Don't Call Me Diva Land, those two are definitely in a loving relationship.
100%. Even if they
Yep.
haven't said anything, y'all
We
are
don't need
together.
them to.
They started dating at the All In show, pre-show for Texas last year when they announced it. That's when they started dating. I'm just calling
Yes.
that.
No, I
I
like
remember
that.
seeing it.
I like that.
I remember seeing them in a picture together, and I'm like, oh my god, that is like a power couple. Like,
And you were absolutely right.
So not to shit on either of these people, but what I will say is the one power couple that did not work was Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello.
What do you mean?
They tried, and
Oh,
then
I understand what you mean.
And then the Dan Lambert thing happened, and then the
Oh.
Scorpio Sky thing happened, and then just too
Mm.
many things got convoluted. And here's the
Yeah.
thing, is that I want to give them credit now because they got out of all of that, and they now have a baby together, and they're now married. And Ty Conti is no longer Ty Conti. She is now Ty Mello. So I want to give them a whole lot of credit for basically weathering the storm, because they could have easily let a lot of that bullshit break them apart, and they were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, they could have, because there was some nasty, nasty shit that was going around. And, you know, I have to say, sorry, everyone who's looking at me. I'm just fiddling with a light that I didn't plug in, and it's now
Is the
going
light
into
gone
business
back
for
into
itself.
business for herself again?
You know it has, buddy. You know it has. So
It has a tendency to do that.
And we're back. So, I mean, and I've already put my hand up about this in like previous episodes. Like I myself, I was like, I ain't down with that. And I explained like why in that episode. It was just kind of like a whole like, you know, don't bring your personal shit into the wrestling zeitgeist. If you know, like that kind of thing. Like if they're not in wrestling, you know, with his previous fiance. Yada yada yada. Anyway, in that episode, in the past years, it's a playlist. You'll find it. I've said all about it. But yeah, like it was just it was not done right at all. And like a whole bunch of the fandom just went like and just had like a visceral reaction to it. And I think a lot of it might have been a little bit, you know, from some people jealousy as well, because you know, Ty is a very beautiful woman and Sammy Guevara is already meant to be taken, so you know he can't be in the pool of that. You know how people brain goes when they get obsessed and shit like that. And then yeah, people just like just anonymously just typed like a whole bunch of shit. So bravo for them to be able to like smooth through that. But yeah, it was not able to be rekindled on screen at all. They tried a couple of times, like they tried to do it like I think before like one of them got injured or something. They tried another comeback as like the power couple in wrestling, but it just gave me too many Brandy and Cody vibes. And it was like, because you know how when Brandy would come out with her husband, she was face Brandy. But when she was out on her own, she was like heel Brandy. And both of them kind of had like this similar kind of vibe with them when they would be on their own. Like people would kind of boo them, but then like they'd be like, "Oh no, but like we're a couple and we're gonna, love us." And the crowd was just like, "Nah, nah, nah." They weren't gonna let them have that at all, at all. So round of applause to you all. I mean, for having a lovely family and bravo for fighting through that heat because you tried, but it was just
Hey,
never
shout
going
out to
to happen.
Sammy for selling for his baby too. You know what I mean? Like when his baby drops
100%.
elbows or splashes or leg drops, Sammy sells. You know what I mean? He puts the baby over real strong. So shout
He's a
out to
good
him
father.
for you know what I mean, not no selling his baby.
Well, there you go. If you want some wholesome content to maybe turn yourself around on this whole Sammy Guevara Ty Mello situation, if you feel like you need to, go give it a look on the Instagram, and go have a little look. See, look into like, the real life. If you want to, if you want to give yourself an option, if you do happen to be still a hater,
It's a fun
just don't be a
time.
dick.
It's a fun
If
It's a
you
time.
fun
care enough.
time.
If you care enough.
If you
Right.
care, go have a look. You might be surprised. You might be surprised.
Shout out
But
to
yeah,
Ty.
lots of love.
Besides Chris Statlander, she was my first favorite women's wrestler in AEW. Was Ty
Yeah,
Conti at the time, but Mello now.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So from the moment she debuted, oh, was she already debuted by the time you were watching
Oh,
AEW?
everybody was. Yeah, I started
Oh,
like right before Cody left.
that's right, that's right. Yeah, so she was still an alien gimmick.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. What do we all think? We'll obviously start with you, Shane, and then we'll go around. Like, what do you think about Chris's movement from her alien gimmick that was very, very strong in the smaller promotions, and that was also really getting her over in AEW. But
Hmm.
what's your opinions from when she decided to like crawl into like more of a not a human, but like more than a just an alien character, more than a woman.
Right. Um, I liked it because it was coinciding with her heel turn at the same time, and so it made sense. So I definitely enjoyed it. Um, I wish they had of stuck with the heel character for a little bit longer.
Mm,
Um, because it was like, she turned on Willow to get with Stokely, and I liked them
mm-hmm.
together. And then
Mm,
they just all of a sudden weren't together anymore. And then Chris cut a promo like, "Oh, I lost myself, and now I got to
yeah.
get back to being me." And then she was just kind of a good guy version
Mm,
of the real version of her, which I enjoy all of the matches and stuff. But I'm more curious to see if they do this, if they stick with the heel turn this time, because it seems like they're kind of going down that path between her and Willow. Um,
mm. That's what I think. Yeah.
so I'm more curious to see what they do with her this time around.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they're gonna keep her being like realistic. Otherwise, like the alien gimmick is pretty unique, and I like
Mm.
unique characters. It's kind of hard to come by a
Yes.
unique character in 2025. So
Yes. Yes. Definitely. And how about you, my friend Jim? What did you think about the where
I
she's
definitely
going?
became more of a fan of Chris after the change. I did appreciate Alien Chris because she was with best friends, and that group was just always fun with something going on. It gives her that relationship with Yuta. Like I kind of expected her to beat Yuta's ass at some point. Um,
She created
and with
fucking Yuta, by the way. Sorry
yeah,
for interrupting.
and so I think like I said, as the alien, it was like I said on the indie circuit, it's cute. It's a nice gimmick. It makes people remember you. But this evolution into dark stat and now just kind of this mommy Haas, I'm all
Yeah.
there for it. And with this opening match we have here with the women's tag teams, you give me
Yeah.
Willow and Stat together. You got
Mm.
Deanna and Taya. I mean, you got easy
Mm.
six team division
Oh,
to start with.
exactly. Exactly. How about you, Eric? Are you tied to Chris in any particular form
I,
or
man, I really wish I would have found Chris Statlander like earlier than I did find her, because I had to go back on to the alien gimmick and find out how good she was even back then. So
ah,
to see the evolution and to see where she is now, I absolutely love it. She's
love it.
probably, in my opinion, top 3 on on the roster right now. Like just move set, character, the way she talks, like it seems like she's really found herself through the character changes, and that's something that I can really appreciate.
I agree. I definitely think she's definitely shown more character growth, I would say. Um in the in the time that she's flushed out the character a little bit more. But like I said, like I just think that the alien character in itself is just a unique character because there's not really too many like I mean that do it in a way that can be taken serious, I guess, either. You know what I mean? Like as far as like doing an alien or out of space gimmick on any level, like because as far as I know, like I'm not really too familiar with her indie work, but I'm familiar with her early AEW work. And I don't feel like she like literally thought she was a real alien. Like I feel like it was a metaphor, you know what I mean, for like the whole more than a woman thing. Like all these other, wrestlers are just regular women. I'm more than a woman, you know what I mean? I'm an alien. Like almost like Lil Wayne on some rap shit. Like how, you know what I'm saying? We are not the same. I am a Martian. I think it's kind of that thing more so. Um, but she did enough like sort of quirky, silly things to make it fun, like the booping on people's noses and like, stuff like that, and like how she painted her face and different things like that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think, Jim? Like
I, I
like I
think the
said,
women's
I enjoy the character for sure. With her being more serious, but I do also appreciate the sillier side of the alien gimmick though.
think one cool thing we see with the AEW women's division, you look at Stat, you look at Julia Hart, and from the beginning to where they are now, or where they were 2 or 3 years ago, even, is such a change in their characters, and it's
I
just such a
agree.
rewarding experience as a
It
longtime
is
fan.
a it is. I absolutely agree with you, Jim. That's one of my favorite things to talk about on this show as well, is about how much fun it is to see them all grow from the beginnings. And even like if they had, little shots in TNA or in the Wobbly Wobbly, like, and then they, have come through to where they are now. It brings me so much joy. Like, especially, like we all are, of being like wrestling fans since we were little. We all know what it was like when we were little growing up for the women in wrestling. And it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. And now I see a whole bunch of like free will, consensual, expressive women being multi-dimensional characters in the ring, not just being like forced to only do like a certain amount of like of moves, and that's all you can do, and you can only do like maybe two of them in like the 2 minutes that you have on this show to like do it. And like it's fucked up how it like turned like that, because like back in the day, like I discovered a lot of this when we did like our look back on like the tag team history and stuff. Like back in the day, like women's matches drew. Like those things fucking really draw. Like they were like sometimes the most popular thing on the card, and they'd like always be like 2 out of 3 falls, and like, hour long matches and everything. And then at some point it just went, nah, we're not gonna do that. And what we are gonna give you is crap. So you don't want it anyway. And it's like,
Yeah.
Whereas now we have the amazing fucking roster that we see building towards our eyes. And like you mentioned, Jim, like this lovely blossoming tag division that has multiple other ingredients from other companies that have been released that can be added into this little mix of deliciousness. And women that we've seen mainly on like Ring of Honor instead of like coming on to like Dynamite or Collision for some matches. Like there's a big pool of them in there as well that can be drawn in and everything. And I'm all very excited. Like I don't want it to happen too quickly because my dreams are women's tag matches, but and like titles and stuff. But like so I don't want it to be rushed. I want it to be I want it to be done perfectly and everything. Because like when WWE like brought in their tag division again, like this time around, like I hear it's gone through like some sort of like melding and then departing, but yeah. It did seem a little rushed. Like I was like, yay, but it was like, do you have the roster for it? So it's always important to
Well,
build up that roster.
It was
it did
definitely
seem
rushed.
like, well, it seemed like they had a plan for it at the time, and then I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest, it seemed like
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey deciding that she didn't want to be part of the WWE anymore, and them rushing the end of her deal messed all that up. That's what it seems like, because Ronda and Shayna were the tag champions, and they were just killing everybody. And
Got about
they merged the women's tag titles with the NXT tag titles.
was that then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like
that's what happened.
And then, like, at the
Oh.
next pay per view, Shayna just turned on Ronda for no reason. And then she was like, you ruined it for me. Like, you don't make it fun anymore. So I want to ruin it for you. And that was the basis of their feud. And then that was Ronda's last match. And that was that. So it's like,
Ronda said that to Shayna.
no, Shayna said that to Ronda. That was her reason for turning on her. Because
Yeah,
she turned on her in the middle of a match. Like, they were
Oh.
about to win. And she just randomly turned on her. And then they lost the tag titles because of that. And Shayna's justification was,
it was.
I brought you in and you ruined wrestling for me, so now I'm going to ruin it for you.
It was
In a
so
nutshell,
stupid.
it was really
so
dumb.
stupid.
But they had to rush
That's
it
so
because
dumb.
Ronda was like, hey, I'm out of here. So, either book me against Shayna or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Ronda didn't give a fuck at that point. So,
I know we haven't gone. I know we've like dipped our little toe into mentioning the pay-per-view, and then we've gone on a lovely little joyride on a lazy river around the island
taking
that
the
is the
scenic
pay-per-view. We are, but I'm gonna like add another layer onto that. What is your guys' opinion on Ronda Rousey as a professional wrestler? Because to me, she has all the heart, she has all the want, in the world, like all the good intentions, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, maybe a little Hogan-y. But that's just, I don't really know. But to actually pull it off in the ring, to be a professional wrestler, I just never thought she had. I kind of felt like her ego as like a real, like proper fighter who like was dominant for like a really, really long time. In my opinion, I feel like that might have like dampened her ability to just like let loose in like the professional wrestling kind of character that might have actually made her blend a little bit more. What's y'all opinion on that? Anyone?
Jim, you go first on this one. I'm
Yeah.
I
curious of
honestly
your
don't have.
thoughts.
I don't have much experience with Ronda. I was out of WWE like in the early pandemic when they went Thunderdome, and I feel like that might be right around the time when she debuted. So I don't really have much of an opinion. She seems like she seems like somebody who would not be a benefit to, for instance, the AEW women's locker room, because I think they have such a harmonious, wonderful blend right now that somebody like that coming in, not worth the risk. Not worth another CM adult contemporary situation.
Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Adult contemporary.
I'm not sure. So to answer your question, Bex, I think
Yeah,
her
yeah.
first run, she was an incredible professional wrestler, I think. Like, I
Yeah.
think she had really good worked matches. You know, they played to her strengths, obviously, being, you know, from UFC and MMA and stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
But they did it in the same way that they did with Shayna Baszler or with Asuka at certain points or with Sonya Deville, you know, people like that. So Marina Shafir in AEW, you know, who was originally part of the Four Horsewomen of MMA with
Yeah.
Ronda and Shayna, you know. So
Yeah.
I think in that environment when her girls were all there, you know, because there's one other one. Her name's Jessica something. I can't remember her last name, but
Jessamine Duke.
yes, Jasmine Duke. So
Yeah.
she was in NXT at the time with Shayna and Marina Shafir.
Yeah.
And Ronda was the only one on the main roster, but I think because her
Yeah.
homegirls were with her, you know, she was able to probably enjoy it a little bit more. And she seemed like she was just having fun. But what I think happened that she wasn't prepared for was the crowd started to turn on her, you know, because she was getting super pushed, and eventually the crowd is going to turn on
Yeah.
you. If you're a baby face and you're getting a super push, eventually the crowd turns on you. It just is what it is. It's a
No,
wrestling
it is.
thing. But I don't
Yeah.
think she was prepared for that, and she let it sour her on wrestling.
I
So I
think
think
I think you may have nailed it there. Yeah.
so in that second run, she wasn't really putting in effort. She was really just doing it for a check. That's what I think. So
God, yeah.
when I think she's in the right environment and her head's in the right space, I think she actually has the capability of being great. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of factors at play. So
Mm. No, that is true. I do actually remember that moment, like that brought like a image, like a flashback of her face, like in the ring. I just remember her being in the ring, and this was in her first run because I wasn't watching when her second run was. Um and yeah, and I just remember her like just standing in the arena with everyone, and like they were just like, nah, screw you,
yeah.
lady. We're not in like bleh. And she was like, she had no idea what to do with that. Like no
But you know
idea
what
how
it
to
was
turn that.
though? What
I
it
don't think
was
so.
the people wanted Becky. That's all it was. Like
Oh yeah. Was she
Becky was
injured?
the hero. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she had gotten her nose broken by Nia Jax, and that turned her into the hero, and that's what birthed the whole
That's
the
right.
man character. So
That's
then,
right.
yeah. So then it was like, okay, that's our person now. It was kind of like the Daniel Bryan thing, you know. And
Mm.
then when he wasn't even in that one Royal Rumble, and Rey Mysterio got booed because he was number 30, and everybody thought it was going to be Daniel Bryan. And it was like, it's not that we
Yeah.
hate Rey Mysterio, it's just that you're not Daniel Bryan, and that's who we wanted. So I think
No,
that's
yeah, I
actually
think
what
you're
happened
right.
to Ronda. Like, it's
Mm.
not that we hate you, we just want Becky, and you're not
Yeah.
her. So
Yeah.
sorry. Like, and she
But
took it
move on.
personal.
Yeah. Yeah, she did,
That's what happened.
unfortunately. And you can understand that, I guess,
Oh
if you're
yeah.
not
Oh yeah.
prepared. You
If you're
definitely
not
need to
prepared,
have
you know, I
that.
get it. You can take, you know.
So, lazy rivering our way back. We're gonna stop at the
I'm
jetty
swimming.
of okay. Hold the boat. Hold the boat. Shane's got to get back on. Are you on? You good? All right.
I'm back.
We okay. Phew. Well, we're gonna get Shane a towel because he's probably dripping wet by now. We're gonna moor up at the jetty of Double or Nothing. And we're gonna jump on the island of Double or Nothing, and we kick off like we said all the way back where we started off this fucking rowing. The Mega Sis, Penelope Ford, coming out in matching gear with Penelope, who has a amazing fucking crown. Oh my god, it's so cool, this crown on Penelope's head with like the spikes and then the antlers. I didn't even see the antlers until they had their cool little like up into the camera moment, and then like you see the antlers with like the jewels coming down. Fuck, it was cool. Oh, they're like so well put together, so amazingly put together. And yes, everyone is allowed to swoon over the Megasis and Penelope Ford. It is allowed. Everything is a-okay. And then the fire came out and it was like, bah! Oh, it was fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. And then we have
The fire is hot. The fire is very, very hot when it comes up, and the fireworks are very loud. These are things I learned.
So even for you guys who were further away, it was still quite loud for the fireworks.
The fire was still hot and the fireworks were still loud.
You felt the fire from down there. Jim, you must have been roasted. Oh, that would have been cool, though. That would have been so cool. I okay, sidebar. I do remember being at like a Metallica concert, like fucking Yonkers donkeys away. Way back in the day. And like during their like fuel song or whatever it was like boom. And like when they did the boom, like the fire just goes whoa. And I was like right in front of it, and I was like, "Ooh, this is so cool." But I think I lost like all the hair on my face. It was fucking brilliant. Huh.
Give
So
me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Huh.
Snow
When you
bodies.
said it, I had to prove to myself. I was like, wait, I know those lyrics. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Ooh,
This
I got
is really
nervous. You almost made me blow away a bunch of weed. Sorry, listeners. It's okay. I did. It's okay. The weed is
Everyone's
safe.
all right. Oh my
Everything
God,
is safe.
you're having disasters of the marijuana. Shane is falling off the boat. Jim, are you strapped in?
Yeah, I got my strap on
Excellent.
back there.
Excellent.
Hold on, I'm getting everything. I am getting everything together.
So one
All right,
one
the
other
weed is
cool
on
thing
the
at my
boat.
seat.
We are good.
Yeah.
One other cool thing at my seats is I got to see all the losers walk by me. Because they don't go up the ramp,
That's
they go by the
cool.
side. So I got to see Megan and like Penelope walk by, and like everybody walked by after they lost, and they're all sad. Except for Mina, she was happy. She was
cool.
excited still.
Well,
I
how
would
could she not?
imagine Mina was happy.
I
I have questions
Mina
about
ain't got
that
nothing to be
later
sad about.
when we get there.
Yeah,
When we
yeah,
get
yeah,
there,
yeah.
I want to talk about that. But anyway, let's
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So so you guys Sir Eric and Sir Shane, they caught half of it. But me and Jim, we got to watch the whole thing. Me from the comfort of my seat and you from the comfort of your amazing entrance side seats. How is your like do they have uh
Greens.
screens? Yeah, that
Yes.
you can see everything else that's going on. Oh, awesome. But when you were looking with your naked eye, how good was it? Anything?
They look. I mean, honestly, that match looked really good. They were going at it. Harley looks so natural out there now. Kind of the way
Isn't it
she's working with
insane?
Anna Jay, how they're working as a tag team, and Megan just being the beast that she is, and kind of just
Mm.
causing havoc. But yeah, it's watching that match, watching that tag match. Just go. I just want give me titles. I just want titles. Get rid of.
I know,
I got some ones to
right?
get rid of. Give me the titles.
I know, right? Give me those goddamn titles. What once you guys got settled, what was it like for you guys? Like, how was your guys like physical visual of the ring from your seats and like don't you laugh at me, sir. And and yeah, did you have to rely too much on like the screens from where you guys were?
It really depended on the match, and I'll go
Mm.
into that like later,
Yes.
like when we talk about later matches.
Yeah.
But as far as this one was funny because when I was walking down and Harley Cameron and Anna Jay were like getting into the hot tag spot, I couldn't
Oh yeah.
tell who was in the ring at first and who was
Oh, I
on the
bet.
apron for the hot tag spot.
Yeah.
Because like the closer I got, it was like, oh okay, like I can like now kind of tell. And then it was like soon as I figured it out, they got the hot tag, and it was immediately Harley Cameron, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, I should have known. And
Yeah, when she starts moving.
exactly. And I just thought that from what I saw from when I walked down and really saw the full match,
Yeah.
Harley Cameron has gotten so much better in the ring. And
It's incredible.
we've seen these vignettes and different promo segments of how talented she really is. So I want to give her that credit.
Yeah.
But I really want to give her the credit for her in-ring work as well, because she has improved so much from
Mm.
who she was supposed to be as just a valet.
Yeah,
And now look at her. Like, she was
absolutely.
challenging for the TBS world title
Right.
like a couple of months ago, and very well could have
Legitimately
won it.
too.
If it came down to it, very well could have won that match.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. If it wasn't Mercedes Monet, who we will
Yeah, if
talk
it wasn't
about more in
Mercedes
deep.
Monet, if it wasn't, if it was somebody else holding that belt, I think that in any other scenario, she probably would have won that match.
I
But
agree with you. Yeah.
yeah,
She
I
had like
just
a really
am
good
so
chance.
impressed with her. I really am.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
I'm not sure
And
how
you,
it
dear
came
Shane?
across on the.
Oh, sorry, Jim, go
Well, I was
ahead.
gonna say, I'm not sure how it came across on TV, but the chants were
Mm.
really good. There's a lot of Feel the
Oh,
Wrath chants. So
oh,
that was
yes,
really
yes,
great.
yes.
And for a match so early, it was really cool to see the
Mm.
crowd so into it already at that point.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this was their first. This was like the first actual physical. Like, you didn't have anything else in the ring? Eh? This was like the first physical. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And everyone was like pumped with the dual chanting and the feel the wrath, feel the wrath. It was so fucking good. And all women were like working so well to like feed off the crowd as well and like work in, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. What were your thoughts, Shane?
I mean, the main thing I would say, my main takeaway was
Mm.
really I was just surprised that Megan and Penelope lost, I guess. Only
I was.
because
Mm.
Megan seems invincible.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like she can lose, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Especially for it to be, Harley and Anna to be the ones to do it, I
Yeah.
definitely feel like, they're building Harley. They have been for a while. And ever since Anna came back from Japan, they've really been
Yes.
building her up. So,
Yes. Yes.
if you want to keep that momentum going, Megan can afford the loss at this point. We know she's dominant. So
Absolutely.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it made sense to do it the way they did it. And yeah, anytime Harley gets a W, it's always a good day. So
Oh, I know,
even
right?
though we
It
still
was
worship the house of, but you guys know me, like I got the dual church going with Chris and
exactly,
Megan and
exactly.
Kenny's in there. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? Just know,
Mm-hmm.
Megan, you're still right here in my heart and in my soul. Don't worry about it.
Oh, and
Look,
and shout out to Anna J. I am shamelessly an Anna J. stan.
there you go. You heard it here
Shamelessly.
first, folks. And as everyone knows, I love the living shit out of our Miss Ford over here. So
Indeed.
we are all lazy rivering our ways around our own islands of stanhood, and I wouldn't have it any other way. There are
I don't
many,
think
many,
they would
many
have it
people
any
who
other way.
stand. How no? How no? I mean, it's so
No, because
wholesome
they're
that
all fire.
They're all
yeah,
fire.
they're all fucking fire, like, and they're all like, yeah, we own it. And it's like, yes, you do actually own it, though. You are giving it to us and you are owning all of it. This is all your free will. This is all your idea. You've not been coerced to do anything saucy. Like, yes, Harley
Because
is
the ones
fucking
who
eating.
because the ones who don't have to.
No,
Willow's
no,
never
they
done
don't have to
anything
at all.
saucy or overtly sexual or anything like that, and she's gorgeous and everybody still loves her and all of that. But you
Yeah,
know,
it
like
doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to be that. Julia Hart, same thing. Like she doesn't have to
Yeah.
be. She's wearing baggy pants to the ring now. Like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
And
I'm saying?
looking
You don't
badass.
and
Getting her
looking
Vita
dope. You
glow
know what I
up.
mean?
We'll get to
Oh,
Julia Hart, but she has the best AEW video packages in hands down above all.
amazing. Amazing. That woman is so like photogenic in these
So
things
good.
and the way she moves and delivers, and she's so
She's
Julia Hart
matured a
and Lee
lot as a wrestler.
Moriarty.
Yep,
There's
yep, yep.
another one. Jeez. Forgetting them.
Is
No,
it Lee
no,
Moriarty or is it Lee
no,
Johnson?
Lee Johnson.
Lee
Lee
Johnson, my
Johnson.
bad, my bad. Yep, my bad. I always get those two names mixed up. I
I
think I
get it.
finally looked in who
The two
AR Fox
Lees,
is now, though.
Shout out to AR Fox. He's dope
Fucking
to watch live.
see, this is
Yeah.
why I wanted to do like little mini like stop-ins, because there were like really like standout moments and everything. And I do want to give like, we're a women's podcast over here, but we are equal opportunities to everyone when I allow it. and I am allowing it. So I have allowed these little tangents to go on the side. So this is what, yeah, because fucking he was amazing in that match. Absolutely amazing. He's just brilliant anyway. Put that man on television
He
more. Like,
was
he's so fucking
so
good.
over in the building.
Ooh, I could
Oh my
feel it
gosh.
too. Yeah, you could definitely feel it through
I
the
could
screen.
not believe how over he was in the building.
Mm,
Like
that's brilliant.
when he hit that plancha over the top rope, the
Yeah.
crowd immediately was AR Fox was their guy for the rest of that
Yeah.
match.
You
And
know what I
that was
loved about?
that's
Oops,
one of
sorry.
the beautiful things I love about pro wrestling is that when one person does something that the crowd really, really loves, they will
Yeah.
be behind that person until that match is over. And until
That
that
is
match was
true.
over, AR Fox was their guy.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, "I choose you," the crowd, and he was just like the golden goose the whole time. It was brilliant, and y'all were awesome. You were like yelling, and you were like getting on your feet and everything. Like, you're really animated, fucking crowd, Arizona. I loved you guys. You were so awesome to like interact with without actually interacting with, but yeah. It was really fucking cool to see everyone like just get behind all of the wrestlers, and it was brilliant. And yeah, that the finish of the tag match was a bit kind of, it wasn't expected. I didn't expect it either, to be honest. Um, when they did lose, because it was Bane was on the outside, kind of like she just got like slammed into the barricade or something with from Anna A. I'm pretty sure they were just having some rough housings out there. And then it was Harley who ended up getting forward with her finishing move. I was a little bit worried that like, oh no, don't let this like break up them now. Like, you've just like conjoined in this amazing power. Like, Megan, don't beat up Ford. Please don't beat up Ford. Non-consensual beating up, please no. But no, everything was fine actually. She was actually like more pissed at Anna Jay and Harley for having the gall to even like beat them. So so that was good. That was good. They have some more hate behind them to drive them forward to, demolish those future tag teams. Because maybe they didn't give the belts to Megan because they're going to give those two, they're going to give them the tag belts. You've heard it here first, folks. I'm manifesting these things. Imagine. But it's probably like another. Anyway, moving on. Definitely moving on. So the next on the buy-in was this wonderful 8-man tag that we just like jumped on with the praise of AR Fox. That was a massive, massive, massive match. I did not expect this to happen for some reason. I had no idea. I wasn't keeping in the loop or anything. So when all these wrestlers kept coming out, I was like, whoa, what's going on? Whoa, what's going on over here? And it was Crew was on the other side. Yeah. Yeah.
Me and
An
Aaron
RPG
got
fights, I
hype.
think, right?
me
Hey?
and my brother got hype when Crew came out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Explain. Tell me.
We just got
Because
turned up. I don't know. We just got up in our seats and we're like, hey.
because they're all the like super young dudes that just got a point to prove, and like they all just come out the same way, just all super, just like just hockey with these big, extremely obnoxious jackets on.
Oh my
And
god.
it's
How
just-
they get them anywhere, I do not know.
They look like little Koopa
I
troopers
love
from
Leo
Super
Rush.
I
Mario.
want to know
I do
where
too.
who made these jackets. They
don't
almost
know.
look like something that
They look like pool floaties.
they look like something not to get too political or anything on this podcast. They
Ooh.
look like something that Kanye West would have made.
They do.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, yes.
Like
Yes.
they look like something that he would have made, but we don't
For
gotta
sure.
go too much further.
And it costs
into that. That's
10
all
grand.
I will say. I will draw
No,
the
but
line
you
at
get
that.
the vibe. Yeah,
I-
you get the vibe.
I love Leo Rush though. I tapped Eric. I was like, Eric, just look at how fast he is. Look at how
He
fast
like
he does everything. Like in the
No,
ring,
he
it's
was
just
no, you
lightning
weren't lying.
quick.
Because the second that you said that, Leo Rush did. I don't remember if it was a flip outside or if it was when he was already outside of the ropes.
yeah,
But he did something to where it was just him and Action Andretti.
Yeah.
They just move so fluently together.
They
yeah,
And
do. They're
I'm
a
Yeah.
great tag
and
team.
then no, that's what it was. They were outside of the ropes, and then they came back in, got
Yeah.
Drew Listico back in the ropes, and then just whipped him back right into the turnbuckle, and then Leo Rush just comes through like a missile and just whips
Yeah.
him, and I'm just like, how is he so fast?
Yeah, what is it like for all of you? Like, what is it like seeing like all these wrestlers just physically like in front of you, like doing things? Because obviously I've never seen it to this level before.
So at this point,
Mm.
I had already been to an AEW show, but
Mm.
I hadn't been to a AEW show up this close.
Yeah.
So there was a few things which I can't explain them now, but there's a couple of things that I really noticed watching it up very close to where I was.
Yeah.
And in this particular match, I was just amazed by how fast everybody moves.
Yeah.
I was incredibly amazed by how fast everybody moves. And I was also amazed by how, after they are able to sell and get their breath together, how fast they're able to move even after that.
Yeah. Oh, that always impresses me, eh? It's insane. Like it's so impressive just how like Mercedes, who we're about to talk about like later, and even Hater as well. But like all the wrestlers, like they put everything into it, and then they take like this massive fucking lariat or something, or like just like dropped on their head, and then they're just like, oh shit. And then like someone comes at them and they're like, whoa, and then they like flip themselves out of the way, and then they come back with the speed of the this and like a pa 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 pa, and it's like, how are you doing this with your life? You've just been slammed. It's so impressive to me. It really, really is. It's ridiculously impressive to me. I cannot wait until because one day I will see an AEW show live and it will be brilliant.
You will. You
I
absolutely
will.
will.
I will. It will happen. So, lovelies, we got to start off this double or nothing with the Owen Hart match between Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter. I was surprised, but then the surprise quickly turned into hype because I was like, oh, fucking brilliant. Like, oh, this is first. And it's like, oh, this is first. Oh, yay. Because then I was like, oh, yeah. Because then, like, the other one's going to be last. And so that's so fucking cool. And then all this chaos is going to go in the middle. Oh my goodness. The CEO comes out in all of her pink gear with strappy awesomeness, dripping with her 3 belts of gold, looking like money as she does. Um, yes, all of my Monet is going to go crazy because she's going to lose all of her belts and lose half of her mind is gone. Yes, spoiler alert, she now is back to having 4 belts, so I think that means she has her boat back. I don't know. I don't know anything about maritime law on that one. But she, she's back to her full health on boats and, belts and everything. So,
Wait, so the
Bixby,
Owen Hart belt
yours.
counts for an entirely new boat as well?
Well, this is what I don't know. This is
Well,
one
for
I'm
Oh, we
not
her.
gotta
sure
check.
of.
Oh, okay, we gotta figure it out. Okay, I
We've
got you.
we've got to check on this. Yeah. I didn't have enough time to like get my little like, binoculars in on the maritime law between belts and tournament belts, but we'll get I mean, at least I think she's got like a jet ski, you know?
Okay, that
Like at least
you
a
know,
decent jet ski.
I could see a jet ski. I could see a jet ski because you don't defend the Owen. That's the only reason I'm like, there's no
That
risk
is
of
a fair
losing the
point.
boat. So do you
No,
really
there
get a
is
full
not.
boat for that? You know?
No. Whereas a jet ski is very much part of like a competition gifting supplement, type thing. So
Yes.
I think we may have actually cracked the code here. Hang on, I'll just do quickly little.
The other thing to keep in mind about that is that who won the Owen Hart of women's belt first? It was
It was
Britt Baker, right?
Britt Baker. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wore that belt around like it
Yeah.
was a world title.
Yeah. She
The
was
next
the only
person who
one that
won
did.
it, I believe, was
Willow? No. I have this somewhere.
who was the second person that won it?
I
Not
think
Willow,
it
but I
was
could be
Willow.
wrong. Oh wait, was it Mariah? How many have we had now?
Oh wait, yeah,
No,
no,
it wasn't Mariah.
It was Mariah May. Yep, that's who I originally had in my head. Yep, so it was Mariah May. She did not wear that belt around like a championship
No.
belt because the second
No.
that she won it, she attacked Tony Storm with it.
Yeah. She did some like
and now
posing
Mercedes
with it.
Monet
But...
won it. So we kind of got to see how she's gonna parade the belt around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but in both of those instances, neither of those people defended that title like it was a title belt.
No, they didn't. They just kind of carried it around. Yeah, which was a bit meh. But sorry. I was looking up the in detailed back catalogue of these sort of things, and yes, I can concur. A Owen Hart Cup tournament belt does give you one top of the line, but it does give you one jet ski. So
Got
there we
it.
go.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're all
I can
Yeah.
rationalize that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just had to do a little bit of scrolling on the thing, but yes, no, can
I was
confirm
like, yeah, I don't
one
know
jet
if you get a
ski.
full like yacht for that though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you can bet that she tried. You can bet that
well,
she tried
she's
to
Mercedes
upgrade.
Monet, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she probably got the yacht of
Mm-hmm.
jet skis. To be fair, whatever
Oh
you got.
Oh,
yes.
this thing is blinged. This thing is blinged out. Hell yeah, we've got CEO over the whole thing. She fucking revs it up, plays her music. She's fucking riding around the lakes with CEO.
I was gonna say she's in the ocean. Dolphins are popping up in rhythm to
Mm-hmm.
the.
Mm-hmm.
I can see.
I want to say one thing before we get into the nitty gritty of the match.
Oh yeah.
CEO was very over in the building.
I could hear. You could
Very
really hear
over
it.
in the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah,
Like,
you could hear it chant like loud.
and I want to say that the crowd was very split between Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Monet.
Yeah.
It almost felt like the crowd was almost swaying the match at certain points.
Yeah.
That's how good, but that's how good the match was too.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if do you want to start on how you feel, just how you feel about the match and just
More.
how brutal it was, really?
So I had a feeling it was going to be very, very, very hard hitting because you got Jamie Hayter, just being Jamie Hayter, and then you've got Mercedes Monet with everything behind her, all of her fucking centuries of like battle, like hardenedness is inside of her body, like that woman is, I mean, she's dabbling on the edge of like superhuman, to be perfectly honest, with the amount of like punishment she can take. Oh, like she took everything that Jamie Hayter gave her, and Jamie Hayter took everything that Mercedes Monet was giving her because Mercedes has those heavy ass meteoras, and she was just pummeling them into Jamie Hayter every chance that she could. Like that moment when Jamie Hayter was hanging off the bottom rope and she got her with those two meteoras, that was so amazing. But you just have this close up of her face, and she's kind of like she's still like really kind of like crazy, but it's like, yeah, I know, I'm like so good. And it's like, you're murdering someone. She's like, I know, like, silly old me. She's so crazy, but so talented. And this was such a brutal match. I could not get over how much that they were coming back from. It was insane. But yeah, what do you have to say, Mr. Eric? Oh, Mr. Jim.
Eric, what you finish? You
Hello?
want to finish?
Oh,
So really on that match, I just thought that I did not expect really for them to throw as stiff shots as they did at each other. Like I knew that it was going to be a stiff match because I know like one thing that Shane told me like before the matches started was that hey, you're probably going to hear a lot of stiff shots that you're not used to hearing. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But that was the one thing that I just did not expect out of this match was how loud it was going to be. And
yeah.
Jamie and Mercedes, I want to give them both credit.
Yeah.
They both hit very hard. Like
Yeah.
Jamie's lariats, you can hear the connections.
Can you?
Mercedes backstabbers, you can hear every connection.
Really?
Yeah, every single one.
Wow.
And I just want to
Wow.
give those ladies credit because I can tell that a lot of those moves can really hurt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I just really want to give them credit for.
Can you hear them from where you were as well, Jim? Like were those
Oh,
connections with the
yeah. I mean, those titty slaps, those reverberate through the building, and I'm like, oh, like, don't do
yeah.
that to me.
Oh,
But
I know, right?
I think the really cool thing with this match was it's what we were waiting for since the announcement of the tournament bracket. We knew
Yeah.
this was coming, and so
Yeah.
we've had all this time, and they stopped about a month ago, and we said, what are they going to do for these couple of weeks? And they filled that time and really made this match special.
They
I
did.
love the match of styles of Mercedes is just like ragdoll physics in the video game. She
Redonkulous.
she bends every way. There's one point where
Yeah.
she gets thrown across the ring and she slides like on her knees, like her legs are like pinned under her, and I'm like, I would blow out
Yeah.
an ACL doing that. But
I
Mercedes is
know,
just like,
right?
no, my body does this. It's easy. And
Yeah.
getting her with Jamie, who I always remember her matches like Rio. Like she just works with Joshi so well because she's so powerful.
Yes. Yes. And they can
And
take it.
yeah, they could take whatever punishment she has to deal. And the finish was brutal. She just brained her on that like
Really
roll.
did.
It, it,
Really did.
it did not notice that in the arena. That it looked a
No,
lot
you
worse on
wouldn't have.
TV than what I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah. Because it was done so quickly and it was done so tightly that you could only see that that she got her with a devastating like DDT from like the angle of like down here on the ring, like from the announcing. Yeah, that's the only way you could see it. And then like Excalibur like mentioned it, and we were like, "Oh damn!" Like we saw the replay, and it's like, "Oh fuck, holy shit!" So, what do you have to say about this wonderful hard hitting match, my dear Shane?
It was great. This actually might have been, this is tied for my match of the night actually.
Yeah,
As far as one-on-one matches, yeah. My
yeah,
overall match of the night is the Anarchy in the Arena. We'll get to it.
yeah,
But as far as one-on-one singles matches, this is tied with the Will Ospreay Hangman match to me.
So both tournaments really were up the top for you.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
think so.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people defaulted to Hangman and Ospreay, which I understand because they're both amazing as well. Especially especially Will Ospreay. Like he might be the number one wrestler on the planet right now, realistically.
Realistically, yeah.
Like as far as just strictly in ring, what he does in between the ropes, he might be the best wrestler on the planet. So
Yeah.
um so you're gonna kind of default to him, but I don't know, when I think back on it, like I don't know, I remember more, I think, just off of the one live watch. I think I remember more of the Mercedes and Jamie match. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess that says something.
definitely said something. It stuck in your mind, that's for sure.
For
I
sure,
I
because
thought
it
for
definitely did. That
sure.
was I love that match. Like that was, you know, the entrances were cool,
Yes.
and you know, like my brother said, you know, just hard hitting. Um, you like you said, you know, you could hear everything connect.
That's awesome.
Um, it's really cool, especially the forearm shots, because sometimes on TV, you know, to me, they don't necessarily. It depends on who's throwing them, on whether they
Yes.
look like truly effective or not. Sometimes it just kind of
Yes.
looks like they're resting their elbow on the guy's shoulder, and then
Yeah.
you know what I
Kind
mean,
of more
like.
shoving.
But in there, even the ones that look like that, you can hear them connect still, and you're like, oh no, 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 they're
Wow.
throwing it. It just, you know, it's one of those deceptively hard shots, like where it just
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
look like it's as hard as it actually is. But when you're in there, you're like, oh shit, okay,
Mm.
that actually probably hurts. Like, you know what I mean? So
Ow.
yeah, yeah. So that match brought a lot of that out, and
Ooh.
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Both of them rocked it. I was surprised at the result. I will say that. I definitely
Yeah,
had Jamie
yeah.
winning.
Yeah,
Because I
me
just
too.
felt like, you know, they were kind of setting it up. Obviously, her versus Tony. Tony's the one who
Yeah.
injured her, you know,
Yeah.
took her title, get your, you know, revenge. So I just sort of
Yeah.
assumed that was the natural direction that they were going. But it also
Me
makes
too.
sense to have Mercedes, because that is the money match as far as the big names. You know what I mean? If you want to get all the
Yes.
eyeballs
Yes.
on there, you do Tony versus Mercedes. So it
Yes.
makes
Yes.
sense in that sense
It
as well,
does.
like from a business sense, you know, but from just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
the wrestling purist storyline geek in me,
Mm.
I think Jamie should have won, but it's all good. It was an amazing match, and shout out to both ladies. It was great.
Fucking A. Fucking A. I wonder if we will get any like not retribution, it's like the word that's coming into my head, but like I wonder if we will get any continuation or conclusion with the Hater and Tony stuff, maybe down the line a
Yeah,
little bit, or maybe still intermingled while this one's going on. I'm very, very interested to see, for one, if we do see Hater on either Dynamite or Collision this week, and if we do, what she has, like, what her state of mind will be in, because
yeah,
yeah, because like you can't say that Mercedes um, she didn't like do any dastardly deeds or anything. It was all completely, legal and legit. Nothing dastardly went on at all. It was purely, flesh against flesh. Who can like get each other down the quickest? And if it just wasn't for that moment of that just perfect luck of that like tiny little spike DDT, Hater, I think, would have still been able to like kick out of that. Like it was really, really that close. But Mercedes just being able to somehow have that extra, like not just an extra gas tank, but like an extra gas tank like in her body somewhere, and how she's able to like breathe through like the tiniest like amount of like her neck being squeezed, and her neck is all this like, and her foot is like on her head and all that kind of stuff, and how she's able to just like uncurl herself out of it just to like even get someone's shoulders down for the pin. It's just that beautiful in-ring knowledge that you only get from like wrestling over and over and over again with different kinds of wrestlers in different in different countries and all that kind of stuff. One thing that we haven't touched on just yet that I want to touch on before we skedoodly add on to the other one is how technical this match was as well.
yes,
There was a submission that that Mercedes was doing that I tried. You know me, I love to find out where the fuck these shits are called and where they're coming from, and I can't for the life of me find out what the name is of this move. But she like chicken winged her like
I know
back
what
arm
you're talking
somehow.
about because it was
Yeah,
so weird
it
watching
was
it
so weird.
in the arena. It was so weird to try to figure out what she was doing because
Yeah,
she had her in like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like she had Mercedes' whole body stretched out.
yeah, Yeah, like Mercedes was like every single limb was like in massive trouble. And
I
like
don't
if it
know
was
how she did that.
like okay, so she did it in like these little steps, right? But then all of a sudden she just like fell. And then Mercedes was just like and it was like, "Oh my God."
It was
It was
almost like she crunched up like a. It was almost like she crunched up like a spider.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was like doing a tarantula but in the middle of the ring, like without the ropes.
It
Yeah.
was the. It was one of the craziest submission spots.
Yeah. Never seen that done in my life from watching all the wrestling I've seen. Never seen anyone do that. I
Jim, what
mean,
did you think? Jim, what did you think about that when you saw that?
You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
I have to double check that move. I kind of remember it, but I don't remember it that well.
It's near the end.
No, I mean, the whole end of that
It
match, and they were
was.
just so rude to each other.
Wasn't it at the end?
It
Yeah.
was kind of towards the beginning of the match.
Ah, my bad.
Like kind of towards the beginning. Like it wasn't like
Hmm.
too far in.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Cause like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
cause like they started with a lot of strikes, but
They
then
did.
they got into the submissions.
Yes.
And that was one
Yeah.
thing that I really liked about this match was
Me
that
too.
they started hitting each other real hard to kind of get a dominance established. And at first it was like, okay, Jamie can hit harder. So now we're gonna go to the submissions. And at first
Yeah.
Mercedes was killing on the submissions. Like
Mm.
she started stretching Jamie out in all different types of ways. But then, like you said, when that one particular spot came up, when Jamie like damn near folded Mercedes like a tarantula, I had never seen nothing like that before.
Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Me neither. Me neither. What did you boys think of the all the submissions that we were seeing, Sir Shane and Jim?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, this was my type of match. I like, I like, I just like a lot of different variety in my wrestling, I think is what it is. And
Me too. Yeah.
I like constant action. So whatever that looks like, I think that's what
Yeah.
I figured out about myself when it comes to wrestling. I just like shit to be happening most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
down spots when it makes sense in the match, obviously, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like after like a
Yeah.
bunch of shit or whatever, or you crash through tables or whatever. Like there's certain times where obviously it makes sense for there to be like downtime and you
Yeah.
know they're both knocked out or whatever the case may be. But for
Yeah.
the most part, I want to see like 85% of the match should be moves. You know what I
Fair.
mean?
Yeah,
Like
fair. Yeah.
you should be doing wrestling moves for like
Yes.
85% of the match. I want to see suplexes. I want to see submission moves. I want to see ankle locks, headlocks, arm bars. I want to see body slams. I want to see everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever your
Yeah.
style is, though. So, like Mercedes, you know, it's going to be variations of meteoras in different types of ways. Like, so I'm
Yes.
looking for
She's
that.
so good at those.
I'm like, hit one off the top rope, then hit one off of Brett's rope of power, then
Yes.
just do a running one, and then just, oh shit, like you were about to get hit with another move, and bam, meteor out of nowhere. Like, show me all the
Yes.
different ways that you can do dope ass meteoras. You know what I'm saying? And then do all the other cool shit that you learned over in Japan, and you know some of your high flying stuff from when you were Sasha Banks. Like you can mix it all up now. So I'm looking for,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and then with
Yeah.
Jamie, you're a strong chick. That's your thing. So I don't expect to see you jump off the top rope. I expect to see you hit
No.
people really hard. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
so now, as long as you're consistently hitting people different hard in various ways, give them some big boots, some clotheslines, throw some power moves in there, and then mix that shit up
Yeah.
with what Mercedes is doing, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be sold. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
you know, this was right
Exactly.
up my alley because they didn't, you know, Mercedes might talk shit to the crowd a little bit here and there, but then okay, let's get right back on the attack because Jamie's nothing to play with. You
And
know?
the
Yeah.
greatest part
I
about
like
this
that.
match is that
Yeah.
you really, at one point, did not know who was going to win.
Oh
True.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. It could have been anyone's at any moment. Absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
convinced Jamie was going to win until Mercedes won. Like until the
Yeah,
ref
I'm with
hit
you.
3, then I was like, oh shit, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Jim, I don't mean to cut you off because I definitely want to know what you think about this match.
I think,
but there's one spot I want to mention in particular. That pile driver spot.
Beautiful.
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 I thought when she hit that that was it. Because,
Me too.
Because she hit the haterade before that, and then she reversed it and then hit the pile driver. And I was like, oh no, okay. There we go. There we go. And when Mercedes kicked out, I was like, I was dumb. I was absolutely dumbfounded.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, I jumped out of my seat at that. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, and everyone just went crazy. Hey, Jim.
I think kind of touch on both of what you guys said. I think it goes for both of the Owens finals. The pacing, it's just 95% shit happening. You know, I've been watching a lot of late 80s wrestling, and there's a lot of 3-minute headlocks on the ground and things like that. And this isn't that. This is just kind of going balls to the wall. The false finishes, like you're saying, like the pile driver, just how many times we thought this match was, I mean, there's been like 20 times where I'm like, oh, the match is done. And every time it's like, no. So for these ladies, they were scrapping. I mean, they look like they don't like each other. Like, you know, I mean, that's how good they are in the ring. It just seems like two conflicting viewpoints, and they brought it in the ring and brought the best out of each other.
They really did, like, oh my goodness, they worked so well together. Like, this feud was just beautifully done. Like, it's small, but at the same time, like we've been talking about, like on this show a lot, it's like these are all just little building blocks for the division's future. And you know, things might not happen the way we want them to as quickly as we want them to, but we just gotta like trust the building blocks process. That, you know, this is all like in the back category, because you can see it with both divisions now that we are like, I mean, this is the 6th Double or Nothing, you know, happy 6th birthday to Double or Nothing. And we are still like got like building blocks of stories from like all years just still being brought into like both divisions as we are in now. So it's another beautiful thing of being able to watch it grow, is that you're like, yes, I remember this happening. Like floating on you know, to the men's for a second, but with like Trent's like long slog into this like heel, like actual storyline character that he can now like dive into. Him being in the Don Callis Familia is like perfect for him at the moment.
Yeah,
familiar. But from like the moment he came back, and Chris Statlander was choking out fucking Yuta all the time, completely killing his brain cells, turning him into the insane monster he is today. Trent came back and he was like about certain things here and there. You could kind of see he wasn't like right on the whole like best friends joyride, and then it was such a slow little build, and then when it was able to like kapow, like fucking injury again, goddamn injury sucks. So I'm glad that he is back. No more injuring yourself, sir. I'm waggling my finger and forgetting your name. Trent with a hint. So, fellas, do you mind if we shimmy down to the Tony versus Mina match? Hmm? Are we ready? Do we want Mina? Is it time for Timeless? Is the world going grey, and is there a rainbow in our hearts while we dance our way into I can't do it. I don't have enough like flowing space, and also I have no idea what she does because it's a little bit of like
Are we all glad that she brought back her original theme song?
No, I wanted the other one to have a chance. Give me a chance, and then if we don't like it, we can move on from there. But give it a chance.
I like the track. It was pretty fire.
Yeah,
Don't listen to Twitter.
Super fire. Hey, what was that, Jim?
Don't listen to Twitter.
Yeah, or Eric.
Well, Tony Khan did, and then he was like, "Yes," a million times, and then they brought it back like immediately. That's why I was like, and that was the only reason why I asked.
So no, the Don't Call Me Divaville is not happy that Tony Khan went, I'm so sorry, Twitter. Here, you can have your music back. Give that woman a chance. She had things pumping. She had new choreograph. We had this Mean and Now thing, and it had this little bum, bum, bum. And then we got into it. We could get a little woo. And yeah, it was different. It's not quite so like, yes, we are Doshi, we are Doshi. Let's go. It's different from that, and people love that. And it's like this little woo, but new Mina, new theme. Oh well. Eric, apparently whatever you have to say is horrendous because you're now muted. You have censored yourself, sir. You
No, go ahead. Bring in the Tony match.
So, Tony versus Mina was absolutely everything that I did not expect at all. Did not expect anything that went down in this match to go down in this match, which is a bit silly of me. I should have expected Mina to go back onto the knee, which was very, very smart from what she had, dealt on before. So it didn't take her too long to get there. Mina, the little cheeky monkey, she like instantly with like the hand, she like doesn't let go, and she like she gets real like tough with like Tony. But Tony, she's dressed like an amazing woman of the Western night, shall we say, with her perfect little top hat, with even blessed Taz commented on, because Taz knows a thing or two about stylish top hats. All in red, she's all shimming around with like that little cowgirl prostitute type vibe that I absolutely love. And wonderful Luther came out with her looking questionable, but bless his little heart. And then Mina comes out. All right. So I really enjoyed this match, to be honest. I kind of had a feeling that Tony was definitely going to win it, but then was also like open to like, corridors that Mina could go down. But then once seeing that like Mercedes had won the Owen, I was like, okay, well, no, there's definitely no like little inkling of swerving going on here at all with this whole like Mina and Tony thing. Like, it's going to be great, but yeah, Tony's definitely winning. And spoiler alert, everyone, she does end up winning. Not that easily though, because Mina definitely gave her a fight. Mina is a tough motherfucker. Like, she might be new to AEW, but she is not new to wrestling. Hell no, hell no. And she's come from the dojos of Stardom, which are brutal, and all the right ways of making Joshi. And Tony knows this. She spent many a time fighting Joshi, so she was ready for like some good slop top action, and she got herself some slop tart action. That was hard to say very fast. So, my lovely guests in attendance, we're going to start with Jim. What did you think about from everything from the opening matches? You would have been able to see Mina do all her dancing a lot more better than what I had, with it was a bit of flowing of scarves. Give me your thoughts, my dear friend.
Okay, Bex, as a live experience, I don't know if you'd be aware of this or not, but when Tony walks out, it's not in black and white when you're there. She's in color.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like when she walks out, like her hat
Yeah.
was red
Yeah.
in person
No.
and not black and white.
No.
It's just crazy. It's crazy talk. The crowd was into this.
I'm gonna need a moment.
We had dueling chants a few times. Mina got like 80% of the offense. Like she was just beating ass on Tony, and Tony would get kind of a few power moves in, but yeah, she was just working that knee, taking it all up. I love using Luther as a prop, which Mina did a few times outside, jumping off his back.
With the Tonilo? Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, that was beautiful. Jump up. Yeah, she landed that perfect. I love Luther's shtick. I love the Tony Mina relationship. At the end after the match, I believe Mina said, "You're still my friend."
Yeah.
Before the kiss, and I was like, just hearing that on the TV, I'm like, oh, that's so damn adorable. just kiss, ladies, and then they did.
Just smooch, and then they did.
You're still my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Like how Mina like leans in for the hug, like tits first, like still friend, and it's like, yeah. Yes, we are. And then lovely. So, what do you have to say about this match, dear Shane?
So I'll echo you guys' thoughts on it. Another one where they both hit hard, and I like that because
Yeah.
Joshis are known for that. You know what I mean? Like Joshi wrestlers hit hard.
Yeah.
That strong style is what they call Japanese wrestling
Yes.
for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So Mina brings that, but Tony, her style is very similar in a lot of ways. Like she's not necessarily as like martial arts influence, like with the elbow strikes and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
she is sort of a brawler though, you know what I mean? So she
Yes.
brings a lot of like similar qualities that Mina brings to a fight, even if the style is slightly different.
Yes.
So it was like, just two, I don't
Yeah.
know the women's equivalent. I don't want to call them cows, but two bulls going like that, with the horns. Two rams, I guess that's better. So it's like two rams
buffaloes.
just going at it the whole time, and it was really dope to see. I guess my question for you all though, because I brought this up at the beginning of the show, and I want to bring it back, is there was a little bit of controversy over the case.
Was there?
Was there?
Yeah. There was a little bit of controversy over the case.
Tell us.
A few people felt like AEW doesn't have to do that to show that they're pro LGBTQ. Like they don't have to have women. Like it's like we already know. You know what I mean? You have Nyla Rose signed to you. You have openly, bi and gay and otherwise queer members, signed to your roster. We get it. Like, so you don't have to do that. And that's really just a way to like appeal to like the male gaze, basically. So I was seeing a little bit of that. You know what I mean? And they were like, they wouldn't have two dudes do that on, you know what I mean? They wouldn't have like Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi kiss in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, so.
But Shane, I think.
Well, what if
so
they
that was,
did,
that was just some sentiment, and I was like, as a straight man who did enjoy the kiss, I was like, all right, well, damn, am I supposed to feel bad about that now because I liked it, or
my question is, what if Kenny and Kota Ibushi did kiss in the ring?
Guys, I think
they were the Golden Lovers. They've done it before. That's why I'm like, I mean, it's possible that they would do that. But go ahead, Jim.
I think the argument is more. There's 3 women's matches on the show, and 2 of them had lesbianic storylines with Harley's obsession with Anna Jay's ass and putting her face in the ass. So if you look at there's 3 women's matches.
Okay, so I didn't hear that first part of it. Okay.
You know what's funny? I was listening to the episode that kind of led to us driving there. And so that's kind of what it comes to is there's 3 women's matches and 2 of them have lesbian flair to it. And yes, it doesn't happen in the men's matches except for possibly Kyle and Takeshita. But but otherwise, except that's just kind of the thing of it's just too involved, too many women's storylines involving around that sexual content kind of.
So see, under that context, I'm not even going to say I understand it more because I understood it under the context I just gave you. You know what I mean? Like, and I still was like listening to them, you know what I mean? Like to different people who were saying this, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to, drag them any controversy or whatever. But, like close friends of ours, so I wanted to listen and be like, okay, why do you feel this way? And then, they made a comment like, it's interesting that only men are disagreeing with me. So I made sure to just stay quiet. I was like, that is interesting. You know what I mean? Like other women are agreeing with this point that's being made and other feminine presenting people. But it is only the dudes that are like, nah, it ain't just that. Like y'all kind of are being sensitive and blah, blah. So I was sensitive to that. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask you about that, Bex. Like, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously, you got to be very, respectful of other people's opinions and how they have these things displayed around them in their lives, and the kind of cultures that they grow up in, and everything, meaning with the whole male gaze kind of stuff and
Yeah.
that whole kind of thing. Personally, I hadn't even thought about it until now. That's how much I
Well,
didn't
because
give a shit about it. It meant it to me. It was I hadn't even like in my own mind. I hadn't even put like until Jim had mentioned it. I hadn't even put like Anna Jay and Harley in any sort of like sexual, if that
I
makes
kind of
sense.
didn't either. I
Like
think that's why I didn't
I
even think
totally
about it like
hadn't.
that.
Because
I
she's
thought about it
Harley.
as
Yeah,
just like Harley being silly.
It's just
You know
exactly.
what I
Harley. Yeah.
mean? Like, so,
Exactly. Yeah. And it
but that
kind of
makes
feels,
sense when you say it like that, though. I'm like, okay, yeah, like it
hmm,
is, though.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like different people's interpretations of it, obviously, um, I think determine your like lasting opinions of this, to be honest. And I don't want to offend anyone's things, because this is all like how you take things, and please everyone have your own thoughts on this. But from my personal point of view, that's how I feel about Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. I feel that's just like fully platonic, just besties who are like, they know they're gorgeous. They have complete autonomy about their own sexiness and how it's portrayed. And yes, I mean, Harley has like her tits out to the moon like the entire time, and that's like her want, and that is brilliant. And Anna Jay is like, yeah, my fat ass, like fucking a, and like you can see her sometimes being, like, like you're a menace to like Harley, but like that's like their thing. Like that is Harley. Like Harley. I'm not saying Harley is a walking sexual harassment doll.
Kinda.
But she's a minorly consensual walking harassment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that's why to me I didn't like, yeah, I didn't really like connect that sexual thing at the beginning. Definitely between Mina and Tony, it was like a sexual and also a love. Smooches. It was also like in my mind, it was also like we're like we're putting this to bed now. Like we've had this fight. We're now friends again. We're just going to put this to bed with a lovely little, smooch between like, I'm not too sure what Mina's sexual things are, but Tony's definitely bi. Tony's
Hmm.
been open about, especially in her timeless character, she's been open about like her like love of like the female aesthetic and like the division and everything, and she's all very 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 sexual. Have you listened to the woman speak?
Right.
So in a way, it's kind of like Harley, like she is what she is. She's been saying this entire time. Has she told a lie? Never. So I guess that's another reason why, to me, and knowing how Mina is in Joshi and how she has been in Stardom, her whole
Hmm.
stuff with Mariah, everything that she has done in AEW, even before she signed with AEW, was very much like, this is what you're going to get. Like, yeah, I smooch girls. Like, hello, champagne, mwah, champagne. Today's like, yeah, she smooches. All right. So, like, I wasn't really surprised that we were going to get it. Like, when they were kind of like doing that at the end, I was like, oh, we're going to get a little smoochy. And yeah, and then like she grabbed the hand that gave it in, it was like, mwah, with like this big, like dramatic, like, mwah. Like, it wasn't like, you know,
And see,
come to me.
just if I may, your reaction right there is
I'm in a
sort
moment
of,
here.
and this is me being generous to probably more men than I should realistically. And I think my perspective is skewed because I happen to have a lot of good men in my life and I don't know that many dirt bags. And the dirt bags that I
Yes.
have known are not really in my life anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
You've weeded
like,
them out.
yeah, the guys that I'm around treat women right and shit. So,
Yes.
like, so for me, I guess my first thought was, again, anecdotally, but the majority of men and women that I know can appreciate two women kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the majority of men and women I know would not appreciate two men kissing in the same way. Now, whether that's
Oh.
homophobic or whether that's just because women can see the beauty in other women easier, and it's not like, I don't know what the psychology is behind that necessarily. It's probably a mix of all of that. Like, I'm sure there's homophobia and ew, that's gross mixed in, which not cool.
Mm.
But like, I don't know what that is, but I do know that the majority of women don't mind seeing two women kiss, and of course the majority of men don't. So
Yeah.
I almost thought it was more that, where it's like, if we like in the, if you're gonna link it to them being like friendly towards the LGBTQ plus community, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're linking the story to that, which is what I think certain people were doing, because again, that was a
Yeah.
comment I saw. You don't have to do this to show that you're an ally. So
Uh-huh.
if they're linking the two,
Yeah.
then like, I don't know, like, I guess it's just more so because that visual is more acceptable to more people, I guess. Like,
Mm.
does what I'm trying to say make sense? Like, because I hope that didn't come out wrong. Like,
No, I mean, it makes sense to me. How about you guys? Make sense to you?
Well,
Anyone got anything to add?
that's why I kind of rolled my eyes at one point of what he was saying, because what he's saying makes total sense.
Mm.
Like, it's the, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's like, I don't know. It's the hypocrisy of like people acting like something that they're not
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. Like, at the end of the day, people like a lot of stuff that they act like they're not into, but at the end of the day, they are into that shit.
Yeah.
oh, I see what you're saying. I see what
You
you're
know
saying.
what I mean?
I get it. Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
Like,
have
a
yeah,
to,
lot
yeah.
of people are like fronting.
I don't think
like,
that's the case with anybody individually that I may or may not have been speaking about, by the way. But I do get what you're saying here, because you're not in,
because I'm
you
not,
didn't
because I'm just
you didn't see
generalizing.
the stuff that
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm
speaking about
referencing. So
anybody
yeah,
in
you don't even
particular.
know exactly.
Yeah, I am
So,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
speaking
yeah,
about
yeah.
anybody in particular. I'm just
Yeah.
talking
No.
in general. Like,
Yeah. Me neither.
people like to put, especially in today's age, people like to put on a lot of fronts about who they are, what type of lifestyle they live, what type of things that they're into, and they're not
Mm.
even, number one, they're not even into the type of shit that they're portraying. Number two, they are not living any type of lifestyle that they're portraying online. And number three, if half
or
of
the
their
opposite,
friends,
or it'll be
if
the
Yeah.
half of
opposite.
their
Like,
real
they'll be
friends
into
knew
some
that they
shit
were
that they
doing
don't
that
want
shit,
to, you know.
Yeah.
they would look at him and be like, "What are you doing, bro?
Mm. Yeah.
Like,
What do you think?
why are you fronting for the internet?"
Yeah. What do you think, Jim, on this whole?
I mean, I think Timeless Tony Storm and Harley Cameron are two very unique characters.
Yes.
And Tony sexuality is so wrapped up in her character, male,
Yes.
female, puppy. Like I think she'll do
Yes.
whatever. Um,
Inanimate object.
Inanimate object. I mean, and Harley is just kind of crazy. You know, I mean, she's the one who
Yeah.
She thought Bowens wanted her. Um, and, and,
Exactly.
and so I think, you know, the fear was that, hey, if we start getting 5 women's matches a week, or all of a sudden, you know, 60% of them going to revolve around this. And I don't think that's it. You know, I don't think we're going to see Deanna and Taya start making out, or, you know, Mercedes and Jamie or whoever. It's just these characters are very unique, but it's just that slippery slope of WWE started at some place with the Diva shit and the Attitude
Yeah.
Era, and then it evolves into something else, and we just don't
Yes.
want to see it get to gross shit. And I mean, let's say
We
facts.
definitely don't.
TK is not Vince, so we won't get
For
that
sure.
Well,
far.
For sure.
exactly.
But no,
Exactly.
I'm just one last thing before, you know, we can
Yes.
move on.
Yep.
But just Jim, I do appreciate you for bringing that context. Because again, I missed that part, or I missed those comments, or, you know, those posts, or wherever I may or may not have read whatever I'm talking about right now. But
That, this, that, and the other thing.
Fair,
yeah, you know,
fair.
this, that, and the other. But yeah, so thank you for adding that context though, because that did paint more of a picture, and I was like, okay, like that is that is something to pay attention to, like, because
Yes.
I didn't link that, that like with the Harley Anna thing, and I was like, that could be interpreted that way. So that does
Yeah, I
make
hadn't
sense.
either.
So yeah, let's
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about
let's
that
be
either.
careful here.
Mm.
Let's not go overboard. But yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jim. And it's a good thing that we as fans got to keep on top of as well. But at the same time, I personally don't have a fear that we're going to be going down into any sort of like diva, bra and panties, lesbian pollen bollocks either. I think it was just in this particular scenario, I just think it was just a coincidence that it just happened to be a Harley and Anna J match, and the other one, the third one was Tony and Mina. I think that was just a pure coinkydink. I really don't think anyone has anything to fear that it's going to go into any sort of like dodgy, dirty, unconsensual, gross, smoochy on everyone's shit. And
there's only one
surrounded
wrestling promoter who thinks about that, and that's Vince Russo, and
Exactly.
he's not even involved anymore.
Exactly. All of that is now out of all of everything. It's definitely not an AEW story writing. And just to like put a little bow on it as well. Prepare yourself, people, if you don't like same-sex people smooching, because there is going to be man-on-man smooching in AEW at some point. I can guarantee it. It's gonna happen. So just be aware. 100%. Without having any like pointing of a storyline, it's going to be happening at some point in the future. It just is. It's going to be natural. It's not going to be like in your face. Just like when Tony did her like promotion at where were we? I can't remember where we were. But the trans flag was just like casually just behind her. It's just these casual things, right? It's not in your face. It purely is storyline. And yeah, get ready for that man on man smooching.
Kyle and Tateshka.
Yes,
I'm ready.
exactly right. And with that, as we were talking about that little nipple thing, it's all for Takeshita, baby.
The whole DCF is getting down.
Young Bucks might even kiss.
Hey, haven't they? No, what? Because you know how they do like the smooches on either side.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm like,
Did
they
they
probably
actually
kissed
connect?
by accident a few times.
Yeah. Didn't they accidentally kiss? Let me do
Yeah, that's gross. You're my brother, dude.
Touching tips.
Young Bucks accidentally kissing is hilarious.
Ew, dude, no,
That
kiss the
was
other
so
dude.
funny.
I'm your brother. That's gross.
And they're twins.
And
No, I
it-
don't think they're twins. I think Matt's older.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
Yeah. Matt is older. Those
Oh, okay.
fucking young bucks, man. Jesus Christ. They're living up to the young bucky-ish names, aren't they?
You mean the founding
Fucking
fathers?
hell.
That was
I'm so
amazing.
sorry. I'm so sorry. And with that lovely segue from our amazing Jim over in this corner. Look at me getting good. Okay, so I totally forgot that our wonderful sicko got this. This right here, people. This
Yeah,
right
bring
here.
that
Hold it up
back
again,
up.
please, sir. Hold it up again. This right here
Look
is
at Matt's
one of
face.
my
That's so awesome.
That is
I
one
love
of my
Matt's-
ultimate wants of like merchandise is some of this like either Okada money, but I don't think they do that with Okada anymore, or some Young Buck money. At one point in my life, I need one of these. That is so.
I
And look how
love that so
crisp
much.
it is.
Your
Did it just-
Not legal tender. It says so on it.
That's so funny. I love
Legal
Matt's
for
face
one
on that
young
picture.
buck.
I'm gonna keep reiterating that. That smug ass smile with the one lip curled up.
bro.
I fucking love that.
That the most smug smile in wrestling today. What a douche! What a douchebag!
Yes.
He's such a fucking douchebag at wrestling, and I love him so much. Oh, I really fucking do. So,
Oh,
segueing
shit.
into the amazing Anarchy in the Arena, people. Woo! We started out with the faces coming out first, but the Ops came out without a Samoan Joseph, and it was like, huh? And like they weren't saying shit. Like they weren't saying shit where like Samoa and Joseph was at all. They were just like, I'm like, where's Joe? And he's like, nah, don't ask. We have no idea. And it's like, what the hell? So that was really weird. And then so who else? And then we had Willow out, and we had Squid out, and Squid came out in. Okay, y'all. I know like everyone loves fucking Predator, but I have loved Predator since the first moment I saw that movie, and I saw that movie when I was like 8 or something. Oh my God. Swerve coming out of the shadows. Ooh.
And I cut you off real quick.
No.
I do
in a
not
moment.
know what that mask was.
Really? Have you not seen Predator?
Well, it was because of where we were. So I had to
Yes,
zoom
of course.
on the video on my playback when I got back home. And then when I got back home, I saw the mask and I was like, oh, okay. I see what he was doing.
Well, he looked amazing because he looked like way more taller than what, like, you know, he's a giant man anyway. And then they had the laser beams coming on down. What was the atmosphere like for you, Jim, when you were like right there? Like,
Oh my, like really to take it the whole way, like the Justin's intro, like he's like shit's about to get fucked up or whatever he says, like just the whole.
I forgot about that. Yes. Go on about that.
Yeah, he's just like, it's time to like fuck shit up. It's anarchy in arena. And like he just gets, the whole crowd starts going. The swerve entrance. Yeah, I saw the Predator kind of mask coming out from the side. That looked dope. Where's Joe? So even going into the match, I didn't know where Joe was. All of a sudden, I see on the screen. I can see on the screen he's fighting Claudio up top. But originally we were like, oh shit, he get like beat up in the back, or what the hell's happening here? Where's Joe at? But the team didn't seem worried. So that was kind of the thing. Kenny coming out with his little Captain Canada shield or whatever he was coming out with. That was funny too.
His little garbage can shield there. That was cool. Like the hand painted little thing on it. That was awesome. That was so awesome. Okay, everyone, one word. How amazing is, well, not one word, like millions of words. How amazing is it to see Kenny Omega live? Starting with Jim.
So fucking cool. Like him coming out for that entrance. I've seen, this is my fourth AEW show. I feel like I've seen Kenny once before. But for him to come out and for Anarchy in the Arena, oh my God, I knew this was on the horizon for this show. I was so excited. And in the arena, it is kind of easy. It's so much easier to follow than I expected.
Really? That's good.
It really, like when I watched it on TV afterwards, I didn't feel like I missed that much.
Brilliant.
But like I said, just everything's just kind of going on. So I mean, you miss some stuff, but just like Shane was saying before, just always something. Somebody's always getting their ass beat, and so that's just wonderful. It was just such a great experience.
Wow. So they really took the time to like choreograph the different spots. I mean, sorry to jump out of kayfabe here. They tactically made the plan to spread out in the perfect areas of, the arena, so everyone got to have their own little thing. That's fucking cool. How about you, Shane? Oh, sorry. No, go.
I was gonna say, but it also felt like after maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of the match, everything happened within the arena. In that first 10, 15 minutes, like Joe and Claudio were brawling outside. There's some stuff in the hallway. But yeah, after about the 15-minute mark, it just felt like everything was happening in the arena. So it was really easy for us to follow and see kind of what was going on.
Yeah, that was quite cool, eh? Like at the beginning, they kind of had some out of their bits, and we had like the 4 different screens and things. But then, yeah, you're right. They did all kind of come back into the arena with like just a whole bunch of different stuff going on. So that must have been brilliant to be able to see. Oh, so how about you, Shane?
How about you guys? The most fun part was because me and Eric both have music backgrounds. So the fun part for us was once we figured out that they were timing out their spots to certain parts in the music, it allowed you to kind of catch, you knew that something big was going to happen at a certain point because again, Let the Bodies Hit the Flow starts playing, after Kenny gets on the mic, this is after a little bit of chaos or whatever. Moxley and Hobbs are like literally, and when I say literally, I'm not a young person saying literally. I mean the real version of literally.
Yeah.
Mox and Hobbs were literally probably 5 feet away from me and my brother, like the whole time, like the first 10 minutes. You know, they were going up and down the stairs right in our row, and then they were fighting right in front of us. You know, there's video on my Instagram and on my Threads account at Shane_ethos, and
Check it
you'll
out.
see how close I was. There's not very much zoom on that camera. You know, Swerve and Prince Nana, they walked by us. So it was really cool to be that close and to, you know, see everything. And, you know, the impressive thing, to go back to your question at the beginning of the show when you asked what it was like to see people in person,
Yeah.
seeing Powerhouse Hobbs that
Oh,
close,
yeah.
and then it's deceptive, right? Because he looks huge on TV, right? He's huge in person as well.
Yeah.
But it makes it, when he's standing next to Moxley on TV, it makes Moxley look a lot smaller than he actually is. Moxley is huge in person. Like,
That's
Moxley is
fair.
a fucking, like, gladiator in person. I was like, holy
Wow.
shit. Like, he looks damn near as big as Hobbs in person. Like,
Wow.
seriously, like that was my perspective anyway. Like, and again, Hobbs is huge, but Hobbs looks how you expect him to look. Whereas Mox is like deceptively big. It's like, oh, he's bigger in real life than he is on TV. Like, so that was interesting. And then yeah, like so after Kenny gets on the mic, him and Swerve are in the ring, and you know, he kind of hits us with the troll music at first. What was the first song?
I'm so excited.
Well, the first song was the
Excited.
revolutionary music by the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that was going on for
which
a
was the
while
Young
with the
Bucks
Founding
music, which
Fathers.
was hilarious.
And that was a minute 25 of talking for Justin Roberts when he was doing that intro for the Young Bucks, our founding fathers. That was a minute and 25 seconds of talking.
That's so
I loved
awesome.
Kenny's reactions during it.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can, like, even if you just want to go back and watch that, I hope someone has that clipped, because that is just a perfect moment in wrestling.
Definitely hilarious. But then so from there, then you get into you know, Kenny's like, okay, no, that's not gonna work either.
Yeah.
Let's go back
went
to
with
some
it for a little bit.
2000s. I forgot exactly how he described it. He's like
Alternative
2000s,
rock, something like that.
Alternative rock is what he said.
I popped
was
for
like,
Pointer
okay.
Sisters.
That's
popped
not
for Pointer
alternative
Sisters.
rock either. That is new metal.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, that was what me and Eric caught on to, being in the audience, was at whenever they restarted the song and it would go back into that part, a big spot was coming. So the first one obviously was Swerve jumping out of the ring. Another one I remember was a Young Buck being on the stage hitting a Canadian destroyer on somebody. It was at that same. Another time somebody did a swanton, like, onto some people, like off the stage onto some shit, like over by Jim, I want to say. And it always like kind of coincided with that scream moment at the beginning of the song. So I was like, so that was a way, like, once you kind of figured that out, that was a way to know what to pay attention to. Like, because there was a part where Kenny did a moonsault off of the banister, like,
sure did,
down like into like the level below him, and that shit was crazy. And I think that coincided with the same thing, you know, because they played the song like 5 or 6 times in a row before they finally cut it off.
Yes,
it turned into a party in there when that happened. Like,
did you see
the whole just went
arena
off?
just turned into a big ass party.
It's fun on the show. You can see Justin Roberts, because Justin Roberts is the one who posted kind of that one from in the arena with the bodies, because he knew it was coming. And so it's fun. It's fun that during the show, when you watch the show, you can actually see Justin down there filming it for what he posted online. So I noticed that on the rewatch.
Yeah, it was so fucking cool. It gave me like absolute chills. Like, we all like looked at each other and it's like, he's not. And it's like, yes,
that
it
was
is. And then just
accurate
seeing.
Too. That was an accurate representation of what it felt like to be in there. Like, that view that he gave us on Instagram, I was like, that's what it felt like. Like, what it looks like right there, that's accurate.
One other thing too was when bodies start hitting, Willow was over by me by the ambulance, And if you watch it on the show, when it bodies hits, it looks like she got like a super mushroom from Super Mario Brothers because she just looks like she levels up when she hears the song. Watch it again if you didn't
Awesome.
see it. Like she just gets this look on her face, like fucking bodies.
Oh yeah. I remember that now. Fuck, I remember that now. Oh my god, I
Okay.
got like so super fucking hype, and everyone in the arena just gets to your feet. Everyone's just
Man,
fucking like still with it, like 6 songs deep, like 6 repeats deep, like with the whole fucking thing. Oh, it's brilliant. And then
everybody on their feet.
they, everyone on their fucking feet, and then they do the
So
most
great.
brilliant fucking production thing of Swerve gets helicoptered, well, big
And
swung
swing.
into the
Forklifted.
yeah. After being forklifted in from fuck knows where, Claudio ends up like big swinging him into the speaker, and it just goes poof, and like the entire music just goes off.
Somebody
That's how he
did point out
disappeared.
though. Somebody did point out though, which was
Yeah,
funny. Like, so
yeah,
the entire arena's music system went out because one speaker got blown.
yes, wrestling.
Yes, in wrestling, yes, this is what happens.
All of the speakers are the spawn of this one speaker. So
Yeah,
like you kill one, they all go. It's like a vampire thing, like
clearly.
Christmas lights.
Also, how do we know that all the music was coming from this one speaker?
Right.
it was all just connected, like a
Clearly.
wireless thing,
Yep.
Come
That was
on,
the main
people,
hub.
use your noggin.
Everything else was Bluetooth. That was the main hub.
Exactly.
There we go. We're solving problems here on Don't Be a Diva.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
Jet
So
skis
what?
and Bluetooths. Where else
Jet
are you going to get
skis.
this?
Only over here do you get the real facts about wrestling, people.
You
Nowhere
see?
else. Nowhere
That's
else.
why I
Just here
watch.
on Don't Call Me Diva.
That's why
So
I
what was
watch.
so Jim, he had a wonderful little spot by the ambulance. People who just in case you have no idea what we're talking about, this is ambulance. We had a wonderful stretcher match between Dick O'Shea and Briscoe, and you had to be on the stretcher and in the ambulance to win. We'll swoop back around the lazy river back to that in a second. But there was this wonderful moment where everyone was by the ambulance almost, and the entire good guys are just like cramming all of the Death Riders into the ambulance, like even because bloody fucking, I don't know if he's appeared before, but like Gabe Kidd bloody gets his ass involved again. Fucking shoot that bloody motherfucker out of here. And if they all just like pile them in, and then all the good guys are just like slammed against the thing, like, you ain't getting out, motherfuckers. And they don't. What was that like, Jim? Because you would have been right
It
there.
was
Like, give
so
me the
funny.
goss.
So funny seeing all their faces. Like they were like as Superman 2, is it, where the guys are stuck in the glass? Like that's what all the heels looked like behind the glass, kind of like look like John Moxley's like looking out to try to like see what's happening out there. So I think I have a good picture of them in the back there. But
Yeah.
oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
I mean, yeah, I had the exploding table in front of me.
You
Where he
did.
did it.
That was over
Yeah.
there too.
And that was another thing I think from Shay mentioning earlier about them timing the spots.
Yes.
You could see Swerve was on the rope to do a stomp, but he was
Mm.
waiting until Kenny did the spot through the table before he did his thing. Because I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, am I gonna miss the table spot?
Yeah.
And he like Swerve waited until that table spot happened for it to finish up. And that buck was fucked up. After that table spot.
That
Afterwards
buck got
I was like that I don't know which buck it is, but he is fucked up.
Buck down, buck down.
Yes.
What was Eric, what was your favorite thing that that you guys saw that was really close to where you were?
As far as just the whole anarchy in the arena match, there was a lot of spots that I just loved in general. But as far as what was very close to me, was I love the fact that Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs were just going at it, just trying to grind each other's faces up, basically right in front of us. And
Wow.
the fact that like Moxley got the better of him, obviously he would,
Yeah.
because he's like a pro at this.
Yeah.
So you just like you see Powerhouse Hobbs like kind of come up, and then you see him dip down, and then you see him dip back up, and his whole face is just bloody, and it's almost like a magic trick, because you almost don't even, because this is the one thing that I love about seeing it live.
Yeah.
You don't really see how they do it, or if they gig themselves, or any of it, or if the person actually cut them up, or anything like that. You don't know.
Yeah.
You have no idea whatsoever. You just see one person one way, you see them come down one way, they came up another way, and they are all of a sudden busted open, just bleeding like a stuffed pig. And you're just like,
was stabbing him in the
crap,
head with a fork.
How did that happen?
Like Moxley was stabbing him in the head with a fork. That he might have really busted him open that way, or like Eric said, he might have, you know what I'm saying, did the old workaroo. You never know.
You don't know. You have no idea.
Like, honestly, we were just like, where the fuck did he get a fork from? And then I was like, it's Moxley. He probably just had it in his pocket. Okay.
There was another thing that I kept wondering the whole time during the match.
Yeah.
And Shane will tell you, because I asked him maybe 3 or 4 times before we saw them.
Yeah.
Where are Willow?
Oh, yes.
They're outside.
They had their own shenanigans going on.
I was like, where are they? They have disappeared, and at one point, Shane was even asking me, I don't even know if Marina Shafir even came out.
Yeah, I didn't see her at all.
No, I saw her.
Because everybody else came out by us. Like Wheeler came out right by us. Claudio came out by us. And Moxley came from the other side, but he walked over to our side, like, and was just like pacing back and forth in the aisleway.
And that was when I first saw her.
Yeah.
So, I saw all of them. I just didn't see Marina. I was like, where the fuck is Marina? Like, I was looking all over the arena. I never saw her. But I saw Willow come out. So I was like, yeah, I just never saw her from my viewpoint.
Yeah.
And then, like, when it was playing on the screens, because they have, like, because there's the screens that are, like, right above the ring that you can only see on TV when they do those, like, really wide shots. Like, and then they're, like,
they're quite high.
Yeah, like, so you can look up and see, they had the 4 screen thing, like how you could see it on TV. Like, it was
they
like
did
that
have that.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay.
And then the Titantron was like that as well. And so, like, you could just look right at the Titan. But for me, looking at the Titantron was distracting because there was always shit going on stage over by Jim and them. So it was like, I'd be trying to look at the Titantron, then I'd look down and see some crazy shit. So it was easier for me to focus on, like, what was going on outside the arena by looking up above the ring, actually.
Yeah.
At those TVs. So
the other thing that I will say, as far as like Willow disappearing, is that the second that the Young Bucks came out, and when Kenny and them attacked, you didn't know where the girls disappeared to at all.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I think they went
because
down.
they're closer to me, I think, because they were right in the front along the rail.
Yeah, that was why. Like, from our vantage point, we could not see where they went, period. So we didn't even know if they went backstage or not.
Yeah, because Marina came down, I think, behind where Jim was. And so that's where those two collided, just down there, and then they went to the backstage from there, and then, like, the guys who were all spread out, they all, like, converged into there, while, like, the women kind of, like, went and did, like, the shenanigans stuff. Not even us on telly, like, saw where they went for a little while, and then all of a sudden they were, like, out by the fucking trucks, and Willow's, like, throwing, like, glass bottles at Marina. It's like,
and that's when Marina got busted, and that's when she got busted open.
This
is a cool behind the scenes thing. When me and Eric were pulling up, we passed all of those trucks. Like, because we took that side street, so we passed all those trucks. So I know exactly where they were fighting during that part, because we passed it, and then
And that's why we kept thinking that they were going to come through our entranceway at a certain point because it was literally right there.
Yeah,
But they
we
just
walked
came
in
through
and
on
our
the other
section
side the
was
whole
right
time.
there. It was like we walked in the front door and section 114 was right there. So we didn't even have to like go far really. Like I think we hit one corner. So it was like,
Yeah.
go
One,
ahead, Jim.
one thing I want to
Yeah,
say
what
for
were you gonna
those
say, Jim?
trucks, one thing I want to say for those
Yes.
trucks was when I went to the show in February, they had trucks
Yeah.
outside that still had like Lucha Brothers on it and like I think a couple other people that were
yeah.
no longer with the company. So when I saw the truck this time, I was like, wait, I just want to make sure everybody's still with the company. Everybody's still with the company. Great.
Oh yeah,
Fabulous.
this
You
is
guys did it.
updated.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, there's five things I want to mention from this match
Please
that were
do.
awesome. Big
Please
Black
do.
and Jacked.
Yes.
Big Black
Thank
and
you for
Jacked
bringing that up.
was fucking amazing. I like for Will
Yeah.
for that reveal. I was like, that's awesome. Seeing Swerve and Kenny together. I want the tag team. I love them working together. They vibed so well together, work so well together.
Yes.
The staple guns. The staple guns were art.
That was
Especially
art.
with Swerve stapled the nuts. Like, and the guy
Yes.
before me, about 2 minutes before that, was like, staple his nuts. And then it happened. The TK driver on the Young Bucks. They tried to do it to Willow, and then they turned it
They
around, and
did.
Willow did it on the Bucks. And then unwashed Mark Briscoe. I love that he did not wash after his match and came out.
Yeah.
All washed. Those are like five of my favorite things from the match.
So Mark Briscoe comes out to counter the whole, kid with a double D. And yeah, he's still absolutely pissed out with blood, kind of slightly dried a bit, but it's just like pure crime scene on his chest. Since we are talking about it, I did want to like slightly segue into that, and then we'll look back just about the bloody thing of Briscoe because Jim brought it up, but that definitely was not a little bleeding moment. That I saw, well, probably everyone who was like, watching the camera saw the moment that it just went and like blood just like exploded out of fucking Briscoe's head. Because anyone who hasn't seen it and audio people, they have like two stretches during this match. One was at the ringside and one was right by the ambulance. And the one on ringside got some fucking damage done to it. And at this one moment, Ricochet pulled off the squishy stuff, so it was just the legit metal. The legit metal skeleton. And Ricochet gets like Briscoe's head at one moment and just starts pounding it into this thing at this like really like there were like bolts like you could see as well, and I think his head like connected with one of those bolts, and then it was just blood piss and city. It was insane, but yeah, you could just see it and it just went blood just like squirted out. That man was a crimson mask for like the rest of the match. It was
He was
insane.
like brown. He was so bloody. He was brown.
Yeah. He got
It was just so stained on his shirt. Like, oh, Mark.
He got stained from his lifeblood.
I
And
loved
since we've
Mark.
done a
I
little,
loved Mark cleaning the Ricochet head. When I saw him grab the bucket. I'm like, he's gonna wipe his fucking head, isn't he? And then he takes up the spray bottle and does it. And then the Ricochet run when Mark gets him out to the ambulance and Ricochet does that run back to the ring. That's so.
That was so awesome.
He is so fucking good.
So good.
So
good.
funny.
I will allow a moment of praise for the Ricochet.
I do have
Go
a
at it, people.
question. I do have a question.
Yes.
For
what is your question, sir?
For everybody.
Yours.
What's up with Hook? Like he came out for like a hot second and then helped.
I saw him come out weird.
You saw him come out?
Weird.
Yeah, I saw somebody came up behind the ambulance in an orange hoodie, and so I probably calculated fast because I'm like orange hoodie. Okay, it's Hook, and then makes his way up to the ring. So yeah, kind of it was cool to be able to see him do his little.
It was
trying to sneak by. We're all like, "It's Hook! It's Hook!"
We know you.
I love your mannerisms for him. That was so funny.
But like,
get the golf club.
But like that was weird the way he helped him, though, right?
It was mad.
Yes,
weird.
he did.
It was mad
because it was a golf club. He helped him, and then Joe looked at him. I remember that part. Joe looked at him like, "Hey, what's up, bro?
Come on and have a party."
And then just looked at him, and then Gabe Kidd came out after
Yes.
and Hook didn't come back out.
No, he
So I
didn't.
noticed that, and then that's when Mark Briscoe
And I
came
kept
out.
saying that
Yeah.
to Shane. I'm like, why isn't Hook coming back out right now?
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, is he mad at the ops for replacing him with Hobbs?
Hook only
I
hit
could
the
see-
person that injured him, though. So Hook hit, I think it was Claudio standing there. So
Yep.
he hit
Yes,
Claudio
yes,
because Claudio's
yes.
the one that injured him. And then
He was.
Samoa
Yeah.
Joe's like, come on in, man. We're having a fucking party. And Hook's like,
Yeah.
I'm good, bro. Don't need no blood on me. I'm heading back for some chips.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if he's just gonna lone wolf this now. Cause I don't know. I kind of you don't think so? No?
He doesn't have he needs a group. He can't get out there and be Hook on the mic. Like, it's really hard
Yeah.
in AEW to stand out as a solo act.
That's true.
You know, like a Kenny Omega can do it, but if you're
Yes.
somebody else, like, you can't get the camera time. Anthony Bowens, like, we don't see him on camera because he's just not part of a group anymore. If you're really
Yeah.
deep, then you get
Even
more chance to
Swerve
be on
needed
TV.
Nana. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Even Swerve needed
Yeah.
Nana, realistically.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
until he got
also
with
just-
Nana, it didn't click all the way.
It also just doesn't make sense for Hook and Joe to be beefing right now.
No.
Yeah, I like the four of them together.
Yeah.
Do
Like,
you think
I'm
we're gonna
okay
get
with
a
it.
4?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Cool.
Like, I would rather it be like they just have a little bit of quick turmoil and then they get over
Yeah.
it real quick and then move on as a group. Like,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
way better
Mm.
than, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
than him
'Cause where does
leaving
Hook
the
spin
group
out
and then
to?
Hobbs being in. Just
Mm.
have it be a dope four ass kicking people.
Yeah.
Hook can go after the TNT title. That belt is
Yeah. That's
a
that belt
perfect belt
is
for him.
already trying to be rebuilt as it is anyway. So
Yes.
let him
Yeah.
go
Yes.
after it.
That's a
Yep.
good little, yeah, I like that. No, a foursome would be good. So here's hoping that everything with the ops and Hobbs and Hook is all good. Because
You
yeah,
guys
that would
get
be
along.
great. Yeah, come on,
You're friends. Kiss. There we go.
Consensually smooch each other. Come on,
Shabana and Hook making out. That's what we all wanted.
Just kiss really
Yeah, just
toughly.
go ahead and kiss and make up, even though Samoa Joe will never admit to doing that.
I love
Never
you. I love you
admit.
too, dog. Mwah.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. But no, I going back to the Anna Canyon Arena match and the point that you brought up, Jim, with the big black and jacked. I fucking love that. Like, I shit you not, I actually got like little tears in my eyes when she like roughed that out, because I just had such a moment in my brain for Willow and like
See,
and just
where we
Hobbs.
were positioned, we were behind. So when she
Yes.
brought the overalls down, I
Yeah.
didn't see that. Like, you know
No,
what I'm
you
saying?
wouldn't
Like, because I
know.
was
I think
looking
I
in
saw it
the
on the
ring at that
screen.
point.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
when Willow started going crazy with the spears.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That
She
was
just
dope.
like cleared fucking house, man. Like, Willow was like, you motherfuckers, because yeah, by the way, Marina fucking padlocks through her stretcher onto some chains. The
Nasty.
chains go around the turnbuckle post, and then she's just stuck there, like on the chairs. And we could hear everyone
Please
in
help
the
Willow.
arena just being like, please help Willow. And it's like, someone has a key or something. About, like what are those things called? Bolt cutters. Someone out there. There's got to be bolt cutters underneath the ring, people. Someone's got to come out
With a
here.
kendo stick.
It's a kendo
Right.
stick.
And a
There's
bunch of
fucking-
chairs and extra tables for no reason. Like,
For no
Bolt cutter makes
reason.
sense.
Jim, could you tell how that even happened from your vantage point?
No, I saw them over in the corner, and then it wasn't until I saw it on the screen. I'm like, wait a minute, did they
Yeah.
go through like her gauge or something? Like, I was trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my
That's the
gosh.
same thing that we thought. We were like,
Yeah.
Willow came back to the ring, but like we saw her and then she like disappeared. And then she came back up on the screen, and then yeah, that was what we saw.
Yeah, she was. Marina was very, very, very pleased with herself as well. There's actually a hilarious photo of her just like, like at the camera with like, well, like shit, and she's like, Marina's got like fucking blood coming down here. Marina tried. She really tried to like take everyone out as well, but she got her comeuppance which was good. She had that coming. Because finally, who had the key? Nana had the key. Hey, did Nana go get the key? Am I
Yeah,
remembering
Nana
that
was the one who
correctly?
unlocked her.
Yeah. So good old fucking Nana saved
Nana's
the
gonna
day.
come through in the clutch, right?
Right? He
That's
You
what
know
brought,
he
Nana's
does.
got handcuff key somewhere.
He just had them
He's
in his
selling weed to the
bag. That's why he
kids.
had to go back there. Yeah, he was just like swerving too much and dancing on his way to the back. He was like, I'm coming, Willow. Hang on. I'm getting there. I'm coming. But he had swerves back with the forklift, He had Willow's back with the key. He's a good man to have. He's a very
He
good
probably
man to
had the
have.
key to the cuffs by the keys to the forklift. Like he just left all his
That's
keys in the
true.
same spot. He was like, I keep all my keys in one location. Let me go get all the keys and do all the things with said keys. Makes
One of
sense.
these.
He was probably a little high.
He might have been a little high, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
He's Nana.
yeah,
Take
he's
the edge
allowed.
off. It was a big night.
I may
It
or
was
may
a
not
big
have gotten
night.
this from Prince Nana. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Like, who knows what's in this? You know what I mean? This is the internet. I could be faking.
Allegedly.
Right, allegedly.
Everything's allegedly in the land of Divaville.
This is
Hey,
kayfabe.
everything's
exactly.
in kayfabe.
I was gonna
You
say
can say whatever
big
you want.
kayfabe. I'm smoking whatever Travis Scott was smoking on TV that one time. So
Exactly.
there you go.
Oh, I do love all of the arena, Anarchy in the arena matches, right? They've all been
Super.
freaking great. But
Super dope.
this one I think was just perfection just put together, like everything we've talked about, the spots in the different part of the arena, the musical part, and like just even like the introduction from Justin Roberts, how everyone came in, the where the fuck is Samoan Joseph, oh, he's up there, like just all of this stuff, like what Kenny had to say, the shoving everyone into the ambulance. It was brilliant. It was a fucking romp. It was a real romp. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the good guys won. Hurrah! The good guys
Which
did
is
win,
always
right?
good.
Yeah. Which is
always
always,
want that.
always good. Always, always good. Do we have a good guy sweep? Oh, no. Wait. Okay. Since I mentioned this, where are we on Okada? Do we think, like, because I have this running thing that we're on, like, Okada's, like, redemption arc at the moment. You know how he's been like, I'm Okada. I have the belt. I can't be asked like wrestling to like my top tierness. I'm just gonna coast my way on. And then people have been like, challenging him, like that one with Brody King and stuff. And he's like, oh fuck, now I have to wrestle. And his match with Speedball, he had to wrestle. He had to really wrestle. The hair's gone dark, So we will go around. We'll start with my dear Eric, who's just busting at the seams to say something. What do you have to say about this question, my friend?
I've been very critical about Okada since he's came to AEW because I feel like he's been phoning it in.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I think that's part of his character.
Yes, and I agree. But he does turn it up on his pay-per-views.
Yes.
So I was really interested to see what was going to happen during this match.
Yeah.
This is the best Okada we've seen in AEW thus far. Hands
Agreed.
down. 100%. Speedball Mike Bailey also deserves a lot of credit because he brought the best out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Okada was moving very fluent and very loose during that match.
Yes.
And that was one thing that I really appreciated about just watching that exchange between them two.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like it felt so effortless. And
didn't it?
And that was the thing that I've been looking for out of seeing from Okada since he's came in. And he's had a few moments like that. But in this match in particular, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because we were in person. Like, I don't know if that had a part to play with it, but I will just say that he 100%, like, I can tell now between TV matches and when he goes all out, and that was a match that he went 100% all out for.
I think so. Yeah. What do you think, Jim?
Uh, we seem to be moving towards Okada Omega at All In. So it feels like Okada needs to start getting these serious matches under his belt and kind of getting into that Kenny shape for that match. So I mean, Speedball Bailey is about as good of a choice as you can pick for somebody to kind of go all out with.
That's very true. Yeah.
Watching it on the TV, you could really. It was the first time I really noticed somebody's breathing. I could hear
Yes.
Speedball breathing in the ring.
Yes. Yeah.
The fake three with the rope grab was fucking amazing. Like it just timed perfectly because Okada could do that shit. Because it really did seem like I think he even hit three. And then the ref's like, no rope. That was such a cool
yeah. No, his timing was insanely perfect.
And then the ending with Okada with his fucking drop kick that he can hit 10 feet in the air because of his damn vertical, kicking Speedball out of the air like a fly and then rainmakering him to finish it. Like it was just a beautiful match.
It was a beautiful sequence to the pin. It really, really was. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I mean, some of those drop kicks where he was he was catching Speedball Mike Bailey and countering him with drop kicks that were just like, how the fuck did they time that so perfectly?
I know,
like, 'cause
right?
he was catching him on the chin every time. Like he never missed. And he was like drop kicking him out of moonsaults and drop kicking him off of springboards and like it was crazy. I was like, how is he again? It's like going back to Mercedes when I'm like, show me all the different ways that you can do a dope ass meteor to somebody. This was show me all the ways that you can catch him off guard with a sweet ass drop kick. Like it was crazy. Like it was so impressive, especially in person. I think that definitely adds to it, Eric.
Yes.
Like
What is that like?
To speak to it, you know what I mean? I definitely think that adds to it for sure, being in person.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means that you're giving more points to it. I think you can just appreciate it more because you're actually seeing them. Like, again, TV can be deceptive. So sometimes the camera angle might actually take away from how high he's jumping.
Yes, it
you
can.
know what I mean? Like,
I'll give you that. I will definitely give you that.
You know what I mean? Like if the camera's even with the mat, then you would actually be able to tell how high he's jumping. But because they have to get the whole ring and stuff like that, and they're trying to get the crowd reaction in the back and stuff like that, you're not necessarily.
Yeah.
But from our angle, especially being like, we were dead even with the ring. Like our faces, if we had just kept going forward, we would have been exactly even with the ring. We were like right behind the corner post. So
I'll go back to the Mercedes and Jamie Hayter match with what you just said. That final spot where Mercedes cradled and dropped Jamie on her head.
Yeah.
That was the craziest cradle spot I've ever seen in my entire life.
So quick, hey. So quick.
So quick and so brutal at the same time.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, that's kind of my takeaway is like
nice
seeing how, like Eric said, he's very fluid. And Speedball was a great opponent for him because like Eric said, he brought the best out of him. And Speedball's quick, so he's gonna make you ramp up the pace. And
definitely,
I think that is what people have been wanting to see from Okada for a while. So the fact that we got it, like in a nice length match too.
It was beautifully
probably
paced.
12, 13 minutes, I would guess. Like it was a decent, amount of time they got. So it was like,
oh, definitely. Yeah.
He very much reminded me of why everybody loves Okada. And I was like, yep, there he is. There's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
There he is right there.
but again, shout out to Speedball. Like, I don't want to only give Okada praise. I know I'm mostly giving Okada praise, but again, that's just because of those drop kicks, man. Like,
yes.
that shit was
Yeah.
nuts. Like,
Yeah.
Some of those
Yeah.
drop kicks, like you said,
imagine
Shane,
repeatedly
precision drop kicks.
Yeah, like everyone praises, you know, to talk about the, as you put it, Bex, the wobbly just for a second. Everyone talks about the Shawn Michaels Shelton Benjamin, you know, which was an amazing spot, right?
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Amazing spot. Imagine doing that 5 times from different angles in the same match. Like, that's what Okada did with those drop kicks.
Exactly. So, after taking the punishment, because Speedball was giving it to him as well.
Yeah.
You know, he was laying everything into him as well. They really laid it into each other. It was freaking brilliant.
It was beautiful.
It was great.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was really beautiful. And, you know, full honesty, I hadn't really thought that much about this match going into it, to be honest. Obviously, my mind was like really focused. Yeah, right? I was really focused on like the 2 women's matches and stuff, fully invested in the Anarchy in the Arena, the Owen Hart match, and was even like, oh, yeah, the FTR. Yeah, the FTR, you know, Nigel stuff. That's going to be great to see, like, those 2, you like, collide. But when this match came on, I was like, oh, yeah, we've got this match. And I was invested from, like, the moment it, like, started. I was like, I hadn't even thought about it beforehand, but I was like, woof. I was, like, right in there. They drew me in, the storytelling, everything. It was beautiful. Everything, like, complemented each other during this pay-per-view, I found. I didn't feel like anyone had too long. I didn't feel like it, personally, for me, I didn't feel like anyone had, like, too much longer matches. I didn't feel like anyone's was cut off or anything at all. Nothing felt too short. It just all seemed to flow very well. Like, personally, like, I wasn't like, once the match was going, I wasn't like that, like, interested into the FTR Nigel match. But in saying that, there was some fantastic freaking storytelling done during that match. And Mr. Shivani almost got himself into some deep trouble because he was really concerned about Nigel, and Nigel's going to give him shit about that on Collision. You can just bet your ass on that one. Tony's going to get told off from Nigel from coming out from behind that ring. I mean, behind that announce desk. He's not going to, he's going to get a little slap on the wrist for that one.
I'm just happy that he didn't interfere in the match, Tony
Me
Schiavone.
too. Yeah.
Because, you know, in another company,
yeah.
recently
Wobbly.
there was a match where one of their announcers had a match against somebody, and the announcer who he was fighting on the behalf of got up from commentary, and you know, it was very similar to what we saw on there. And me and Eric looked at each other like, oh shit, is Tony playing the MC role here? And is Nigel playing the PM role here? Is that what's happening here, you know? And
those 2. Okay. Yeah.
They just did the same thing. Like, it's actually very ironic that it's all happening at the same time.
Crazy.
But yeah, so but Cole got in the match. Like, he got in the ring. Like, yeah, it was
and
just
it was so
nonsense.
lame.
Like,
was
got
so
all the
lame.
way involved. Whereas like Tony kept it chill. Like, he just checked on his boy. Dax got in his face. He backed the fuck up. He was like, you know what? I don't want no problems. Like, I'm just trying to check on my homie. That's it.
Yeah.
Nigel got back in the ring. Tony stayed out. I was like,
yes, baby.
Right, there we go.
I was concerned about Tony. I was like, Tony, please don't get too close.
Me too.
I was like, Cash Wheeler might knock you out. I'm
Cash
like,
is
he
looking
really,
for a reason to knock you out.
Really feels like he wants to knock you out. I'm like, please don't get too close.
And he would have perfect opportunity.
And he's the quiet one, so those are always the ones that you got to watch out for. Like, Dax is the shit talker out of the 2, so he's going to be a little more in your face. Tony could be ready for that and like evade Dax, like, but nah, Cash.
But Cash was looking like he was talking back a few times. I'm like, Tony,
we know Cash is unpredictable.
Exactly.
Like the Florida police know that he's unpredictable.
Exactly.
That's correct.
Certain people who are driving a certain highway at some point know that he's unpredictable.
Hey.
You know, hey.
I was just excited to see Nigel live. Seeing Nigel live, something I never
That
thought would
was cool.
happen. He was like my first ROH champion. So to be able to
Was
see him
he?
live, like I'm like, brings it all home. It's cool.
Oh, I'm so happy
I
for
thought
you.
that they should have
man.
gave Nigel a little bit more in this match.
You did?
I agree.
Yeah?
I thought
yeah.
they should have gave him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like I was like, not that he didn't do a good job, because Nigel is great, so I
Yeah.
would never say that he did a bad job. But
Mm.
I just thought that it was a little understated in
Yeah.
what he could have done. Like I thought he could have had a few more high spots than.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
I agree.
But
That is
I
fair.
understand also that FTR had to dominate.
Yeah. And I could
Awesome.
also see him also wanting Garcia to have more moments as well. To be more of like an enhancement back, have your back to Garcia, and you know, because this is only my opinion, but I have very like lukewarm opinions on Daniel Garcia, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with him out of kayfabe as a person. Back into kayfabe, he bores the living shit out of me. So like I could understand like them wanting to like give him more of a time to flourish, so
He
to
was
speak.
more over in the building than I thought he would be.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I will say about him.
I
That's
want
good for him.
to do the dance more. I think he
You
will.
do?
Yeah, like I think that was the thing that was getting him over, and then he
It was.
and then
It
he dialed
was.
it back. Like
Yeah.
he needs to do it more. I think like be
Yeah.
obnoxious with it. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Like he needs to be after every win. He needs to
Mm.
jump up on the barricade and be thrusting them hips like crazy. Like
Yeah.
that needs to be really his thing, and he should just
Yeah.
own it. Like, and I
Yes.
bet you he gets over more.
I
Like, because
feel like
everybody
one.
needs a
I'm with you.
thing.
I feel like one thing
Go,
they
Jim.
did with Daniel Garcia though is he won the TNT title and then they threw him into the Continental Tournament, and so he didn't
Yeah,
get a
that was
chance to
so
go.
weird.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
they
get it at the
shouldn't have
time.
done
I'm like,
that.
they should have given him a chance to get out there and make stories and make defenses and build a legacy for
Mm.
that title. But it just took
Yeah.
him off the shelf of defending the title for like a month and a half. So
Yeah.
It
I didn't like
did.
the decision at the time, and I think even now, I look smarter.
That's so funny that
Yeah.
you say that,
Yeah.
Jim, because me and Shane were literally talking about this the other day, and we were like, what happened with Daniel Garcia and why didn't he get over with the TNT title? And we couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out, like,
But
because
that's it.
we were
right
like,
there.
he had it for a few months, and that is exactly what it was.
Nailed it.
I think he
Yeah,
won it,
you
and like
nailed
2
it.
weeks later, he was in the tournament, or like a week later, he
You're
was in the
very
tournament.
right. You're
He
very
won
right.
it.
It was
He
very
won it,
quick.
and I think he announced at the scrum he was entering it. I think he was the first person to announce his entry at the scrum after winning the title. Now that I think
Hey,
about it,
that's becoming familiar. Yeah, that's becoming really familiar.
So there you
And
go.
And
that's
they-
yeah,
and
that was
there
a
it
bad
is.
decision. Yeah, that was a very bad decision. I hope he gets another go at it, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
like he totally should not be listening to me, and he really should be doing that dance more. I hate it. But
But
don't
I'm
listen to
just
me.
saying.
Don't listen to
this-
me, Daniel. Do it.
I mean, and I'm just saying in the sense of like everybody needs a thing.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like everybody needs like a hook or
Yeah.
you know, I don't know how else to put it, but like a gimmick, I guess, for the lack of a better term. But
Yeah.
everybody just needs that thing that makes them connect to the
Yeah.
audience.
you can grab on something you can grab onto, and a dancing is something you can
Exactly,
grab
Jim.
onto.
Something you can
Exactly.
Yeah,
grab
yeah.
onto. Exactly. There
Yeah.
you go.
Like Anna Jay's us.
Yeah,
Correct
literally.
emoji.
Though. Like, she has but literally and figuratively, like she's made that such a focal point of her character, and nobody else
She
has
has.
really done that. Nobody else has
No.
made having a fat ass their character. And then
No.
Harley's crazy, so it works. Like, you know
when
what I mean?
she first
Like,
Yeah.
said she had a fat ass and a bad attitude,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, okay, that's funny. And
Yeah.
then she kept saying it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it just eventually caught on, and now that's what we know her for.
now there's people
Exactly.
with signs in the audience with peaches on it and shit. And
Yeah.
she's a Georgia peach because she's from Georgia, so it
Hey.
makes sense.
It
Yeah.
totally makes sense.
Like,
It really did. And she did try with the choking. I forget what
The choke you out thing.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
choke
I
you
know.
out.
Yeah, was that just the line? What was that? Sorry, Jim?
The
Okay, who
choke
wants to
you
get
out.
choked out? I'm gonna choke you out. Yeah.
Who yeah, is it who wants to get choked out or I'm gonna choke you out or something? Yeah, she tried, but it just that kind of like tough, I'm gonna choke you out like brawly kind of character wasn't really working like with Anna Jay's natural flow.
yeah.
I didn't mean to do that so suggestively,
aesthetic
but it
doesn't
does very
match.
well.
Yeah,
But
make
that
the bottom
way,
bigger.
yeah. The aesthetic doesn't match though. That's the thing. Like, you know what I
No,
mean?
it
Like that.
didn't.
Like with
She's not a
Megan Bain,
killer.
it matches because she's a
Yeah,
statue.
nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're a
Yeah.
statue, you can have that attitude. But when you're like
Exactly.
comparatively speaking to the other women's wrestlers, an average sized woman, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes.
that, like walking down the street, I'm sure, yeah, like she could pull that shit off, you know what I mean? Because she works out more than that. You know what I'm saying? She's
Yeah.
probably a little
Yeah.
taller than average and all those things.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
compared to other wrestlers, you're an average sized woman. So like you
Yes,
can't really be
yes.
especially when you're that pretty. Sorry. That's not fair.
Well,
I
exactly.
know.
She's got pretty soft. Like she's very, very pretty, but she's also got very soft features. You know, she doesn't
That's
have
what it
anything
is.
harsh in like her
Because
physical
Marina's
appearance.
pretty too, but she pulls off the tough. So that's
She's
true.
got yes, exactly. She's got that harshness from inside of her. And you've never once seen her smile or be bubbly or anything. So we have nothing to
right.
compare it to. We've always had like stern, hardly ever said anything. Like I'm like can literally murder you, and I'm like, yes, thank you, Marina Shafir. Please, no one get anything what I've said back to her, please.
But if you want to,
want my
that's
life.
totally okay too, though. Like
Yeah, okay.
like
You
know what I mean?
The only time Marina smiled was when she padlocked Willow to that chain with her ear. That's the only time she
Exactly.
smiled.
Exactly.
I still can't get over that spot because
That's
again,
know.
I still can't get over the juxtaposition of Willow and Marina getting into the arena, seeing them for a second, looking at the ring, seeing all the chaos, not knowing where they disappeared to, and then all of a sudden you look up, ear just dangling.
You're like,
Yeah,
hey,
that was
we
crazy.
get here. Yeah, it was really cool when we because it had been a while like on screen as well. Like I think I said it before, like it'd been a while since we'd seen them, and it's like, when the fuck are they up to? And then yeah, when they're like outside and fucking bottles are being thrown, I'm like, whoa, okay, they're on their own little like destructive death path over here.
Right.
So like when we come back and it's like, oh, we're back in the ring, and then like Marina's like padlocked her ear to the thing, and it's like, oh yeah, that kind of reads, holy fuck. Like holy shit. And I absolutely love how both Willow and Marina have I'm gonna fuck you up no matter who you are, like personality. Like, you know, like some of the guys have a whole like, oh shit, you know, I'm kind of back off you a little bit. But every time Marina and Willow gets involved, they're like, yeah, boy, who am I fucking like beating down now? Like, is it you? Is it you? Is it you? You're all gonna fucking die. And I love that about both of them. This is why I'm always like giving my last man standing between Willow and Moxley, please, in my own little fantasy land. It will happen one day. We will celebrate here and Don't Call Me Diva Land. There will be Hanabi and confetti, and we're all going to have a wonderful time. That's going to be brilliant. And I'm going to be like, yes, everybody, thank me. Thank you very much. I'm now very rich and famous. Moving on. But yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, I just love the attitude and this like anarchy in the arena match. And also I made a big deal about it because of course, like it was the first ever intergender match of the anarchy in the arena. But I kind of liked how they didn't really make a big deal over that fact when they were advertising it. You know, I mean, they were like, yeah, about who was in it, and like, yeah, Willow, yeah, and Marina. But then there wasn't this big like hype, like overhype. It was just like, yeah, this is happening. And then like I didn't hear Excalibur mention anything about it until I think they were either introducing what was coming up or they were introducing that it was about to be the Anarchy in the Arena match. That was the only time I heard anyone mention that it was like the first intergender match ever. And I at first I was like, why are you not saying this? But then afterwards I'm like, oh no, wait, like no, this is good, like equality. No, I like this. Yeah, yeah, it's just happening, and I like that. I like that a lot. Yay.
Yeah. And then, because that also made it so that the spots where the men did moves to the women
Mm.
weren't like, how could you? You know what I mean?
No,
It was like, nah, they're in the
no,
match. Like it is what it
yeah,
is. Everybody's hitting each other
yeah,
with weapons and shit. Like you got to get it where you fit in. If
yeah.
Willow gets the EVP trigger, she's got to get it.
So
You know what I mean? And that's just what it
yeah,
was. Like,
just gotta
you
happen,
know,
honey.
they pulled that off well, you know,
Yeah.
because I think that's typically the issue with intergender wrestling is that
Yes.
because, okay, like, again, in kayfabe, wrestling is
Mm.
a real sport in
Yeah.
which people are violent towards each other in order to, you know, obtain victory either by making a person submit because they're going through too much physical pain and cannot go on anymore,
Mm.
or you physically pin them down for 3 seconds and they can't get
Yeah.
up because they're too
Yeah.
hurt to do so. Like, that's what, you know, professional wrestling is. So to have men doing that to women, you know, reminds people too much of domestic violence. Again, if we're
Yes.
taking this
Yeah.
as a real sport, which in
Yeah.
kayfabe it is, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So from that aspect, I understand it, but that's not what pro wrestling actually is, and everybody knows what it
No.
actually is, you know, stepping into
Yeah.
reality here for a second. So it's like, come on, like
Exactly.
we can have all the fun with it, especially like when women can be the victors, you know what I mean? Like there have
Yes.
been in certain promotions women's
Yes.
just world champions who were women, not women's
Yeah.
world champions. You know what I mean? Like the
No.
TNA world champion at one time, I'm not going to say the person's name because fuck them,
No.
but
No. But it
but
happened. But fuck him.
there was a women's world champion at one point who was just the straight
Mm-hmm.
up TNA world champion.
Yep.
So,
I know you're talking
and
about.
you can do
Yep.
that in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
You
have to
can.
be, you know, this strict thing because it's like
No.
you have the freedom to do that. It's a creative outlet at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It just
Well,
happens to be. It
exactly.
happens to be based in sport. You know what I mean? But really,
Yeah.
it's a creative outlet. So you can
Yes.
do what you want with it. Have fun.
Exactly. Exactly. And I would love if we could have some more like intergender little like matches going on in AEW. And maybe in the future we can have a intergender tag division as well. That would be
We may have opened the door for that just
Mm.
because you know, again, it's been shown now. You know, they've
Mhm.
crossed the boundary, you know, like
Yeah.
that
Somebody has to
it's
do it first.
happened. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Exactly, Jim. Yeah. Exactly. Someone's gonna do it first. You're right. Shall we do a little bit of a praise on the main event and then we can scoot on our little ways? Yeah, does that sound good,
Yes,
gentlemen?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This
So
was maybe my only successful prediction of the night.
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
was
wrong
wrong.
on everything.
You got hurt, Syndicate.
Me
Come on.
too.
Oh
Oh yeah.
The Hurt Syndicate match. I definitely predicted that correctly.
You got
For
that
sure.
one. Yeah, there you go.
As far as Hurt Syndicate goes, I just love them and their entrance and just their
Oh, yeah.
aura and just
Yeah.
they're badasses.
They are. We love the
That's
Hurt
all I gotta
Syndicate
say
here.
about them.
Fair
That's
enough.
it. That's all that needs to be said.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you were gonna. So you start us off, Shane. Yeah. Just give us your like, just key, not key points, but you know, just tell us.
No,
I'm
yeah.
shushing.
I mean, again, it's two of the best wrestlers on the planet. You know,
Mm.
if you're, you know, like if you're watching this show, obviously you do like AEW. So, for
Yeah.
AEW, it's two of the best characters and wrestlers in the world. Again, Will Ospreay is arguably the number one wrestler on the planet. I think, as far as just pure skill and what he's able to accomplish in between the ropes,
I
like,
agree.
you know, there's only a few guys that are like kind of really on this, like it's hard to even say the same level at this point. Like, as much as
It
I love
is hot.
Kenny,
Yeah.
you know, as much as I love Kenny, like in his
Mm.
prime, yes, but I don't know
Yes.
about Kenny right now. I don't know if he can keep up with the same level that Will Ospreay is capable of right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Kenny in his prime, sure, but like in 2025, Kenny, I don't know. You know, he had the surgery and there's reasons, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
that. And
exactly.
that's not to take anything away from him at all.
It
Obviously,
does
he's
not.
still one of the top 5, top 4 possible, you know what I mean? Like he's still
Yes.
Kenny Omega. Don't get it twisted.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but Will Ospreay is just a different beast, and
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
he is. And so seeing him live is incredible. And again, Hangman is amazing. Like he's fantastic. Like I give all that praise to Will Ospreay, but that's not to take anything away from Hangman. Like Hangman
Oh
is
no,
amazing as
no.
well. So
Yeah.
so when you put two amazing wrestlers in the ring together, you're gonna get a classic. And that's what we got. You know,
We
and I
sure
really like
did.
the duel. My favorite part was the duel. I'll leave it.
Yes.
I'll say that, and then I'll let
Yes.
the others speak on their favorite parts. But
Yeah.
my favorite part was the duel.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. What about you, Jim? My lovely Jim over there in the bottom corner. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I think a great thing was we knew this was going to be the final all along,
yes.
and it was just a Sophie's choice. And even in the end, I don't even know if I picked anybody. I think I thought
Yeah.
Osprey, but who knows? Yeah, the shootout was amazing.
So
Again,
good.
the pacing of the match, it wasn't a lot of
Mm,
downtime, a lot of
mm-mm.
close, the Stormbreaker kick out, missed hidden blade. Uh, Will Ospreay tried the V trigger into One Wing Angel. Uh,
Yes.
Hangman did the big pressure. Like it was just like so much cool, just fun shit that they're trying to do to beat each other and what
Yeah.
they've learned from their other opponents.
Yeah.
We got a both these guys chant. The crowd was split.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more Hangman, but it wouldn't have been much. Like I said, the crowd it was just great. I mean, watching it
Yeah.
back on TV, I appreciated it even more
Did you?
from the live. Yeah, because like the first time you're watching it, you just don't know how it's going to end, and knowing this time where it's
Oh
going to
yes.
go, and kind of having, I guess, that stress off of you to go, I can just enjoy this
Yeah.
journey, and I know
Yes.
where we're going to end up. Like that was kind of nice, and the production the whole night was amazing. They really just did a great job producing the show
They did,
with the
didn't they?
camera shots.
Yeah.
Anarchy and Marina had a really cool one when it was Marina and Willow outside. The camera person was on them fighting, and then just
Yeah.
turns around and catches Shibata and Wheeler coming out the door, and then
So
follows it
good,
in.
eh?
That was such a cool
So good.
transition. So
So good.
yeah, like I said, Osprey Hanger was it was a classic all timer.
It really was. It really was. What do you have to say, Mr. Eric? Oh,
So after Anarchy in the Arena,
yeah.
which was an all-timer, I think
Mm.
personally, I think that was an all-timer. I was a little disappointed that there was another match before the main event because right before the main event, and here's the thing, I don't want to take anything away from Kyle Fletcher, any of those guys, like because
Yeah.
they all work super hard, but
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a lull point. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm still excited for this main event, but now I'm like kind of tired now. But then we got there. And once they stood toe to toe, face to face to each other, it was just like there was just this like energy in the arena to where one of those matches to where you don't know who's going to win. You have your pick on somebody. And you don't really care at the end of the day who wins because just like Jim said, both these guys, there was multiple chance of that going throughout the night because
that was
what
a
these
great
guys
chat.
were doing was just it was super magical in the ring.
Yeah.
There was a couple of moments where me and Shane just had to have a breakout conversation and be like, yo, Hangman, I don't know what's up with him, but he is laying these shots in.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Like
he was hitting Will Ospreay hard as shit.
Hard.
You could hear that shit so loud in the
Could you?
he was not slapping his thigh or none of that shit. That was forearm to jaw every time. He was wow.
And I
like,
remember the first time that Shane said
holy
something to me
shit.
because Shane was like, "Hey, that forearm shot looks a little stiff. Pay attention to his next couple of ones." And
Yeah.
they got into a couple of strike exchanges.
Mhm.
And it was like Will would like really give it his all. And then Hangman would just hit him with just a pow.
one
And it
clean
was
one.
like, oh my God.
That
Oh,
is
he's
true,
breaking that
eh?
man's jaw.
Yeah.
Like it was
fucking-
like,
oof.
yo, these are not, he's not faking this. Like these
Yeah,
are
it was-
real stiff shots.
Yeah.
So that was one of the more beautiful things that I loved about that match because they still were able to get in all of the other spots that they were able to do, even after they're taking all of these super stiff shots. Because
Brilliant,
the other
isn't it?
part that I really liked about this match and the
Yeah.
storytelling that I really liked about it was that this was Hangman versus Will, but it was also Hangman versus Will.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's very true.
Hangman, there were a few points where Hangman almost got out of character, but he kept it composed the whole time.
Yes.
However, on Will's side, there were a few moments where he got really aggressive, and the crowd started booing him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he
yes.
got
Yes.
real
They did.
heel-y. And
He
I didn't
did.
really expect that to really happen throughout the match. That was something where I was like, oh, like this is different. Like I wasn't expecting
Was
you to like kind of go heelish a little bit with that. And when that happened, that was the moment that I kind of the light bulb kind of clicked, and I was like, "Oh, Shane might be right. I think Hangman is gonna win."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I thought maybe, because I did notice that as well, and I was like, this kind of makes sense. Is Osprey gonna like, shimmy himself into a little bit of the heel kind of character in this match because like it's against Hangman, like he can't be a higher babyface than what Hangman is, especially at the moment. So I thought that was very well played out, but it also, yeah, like the storytelling through that actual match, not even like thinking about the stuff that like went on to lead up to it, but what they told during the actual physical match was a thing of beauty. And it ends with our dear Hangman winning the Owen Cup, which is a massive fucking thing for him in so many ways. And I legit got emotional as well. I like teared up twice during this pay-per-view, and this was one of them just because Hangman, I mean, he pulls everything out of himself and he gives it to you on the screen. Like everything that's in him is all coming out and it's all real. Kayfabe or not, it's all real. Like it's kayfabe real or it's real or it's a bit of all. I don't give a shit. He gives it to you and it was a beautiful moment and we're all so very happy for Hangman. And things between him and Osprey didn't end up souring either. This is one good thing I noticed as well during this matchup. Two rivalries who weren't like on such a strong opposite end of each other, they ended amicably, like between the winner and the loser, and they all had like big stakes in them, but they ended amicably and like I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Thank you, sir.
Close enough.
Close enough. Hey, it's my accent. If anyone has it's you're the problem, not me. But yeah, all of the rivalries either got I don't think anything got squashed. I think people are going to be going and like licking their wounds for a bit, and then coming back. Fuck knows what the Death Riders are going to be coming back on. Willow and Marina definitely have unfinished business there. What's happening with Chris? She's in the shadows. She was nowhere near the pay-per-view at all. Nothing. Like social media quiet as well. Like nothing at all from Stat for like about a week or so now.
Interesting.
Athena, yeah, Athena is pissed as fuck. She has been all over social media. She was even
Tripping.
like
Mhm.
tripping hard. Like she is mad.
I wonder how
And
much
like
of that is in character and how much of that is real life frustration.
I think it's all
at the
character.
moment, yeah. I'm going
Yeah.
with all character. Yeah, because she's that good. She is that
Yeah.
good. Yeah, her her promo at the cold open of Ring of Honor was just done perfectly. She's like a woman with a plan, you know, and like all like she's just saying she did a post I think yesterday or maybe like today of being like she has her eyes set on All In. Like no matter what, her eyes are set on All In. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some sort of fuckery from her starts to come into the division. I wouldn't be surprised. Who is going to be the the ire of her wrath? I'm not really 100% too sure on that either. It could be anyone who like gets in her way. I mean, we don't know, but I'm very interested to see what happens with that. We have Tekla. Where's Tekla?
Live in
Tekla's going
Arizona.
to be. Where is.
She
you know,
posted a picture from here. Come on, she was here.
right, right. What are you doing, honey? What are you doing? So she's lurking in the background. We have others that I think are lurking in the background, but they are like in wobbly wobbly jail for like another like 60 days or something. So I'm not gonna like go too hard on what could happen there. But yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up. But yeah,
Oh
very,
yeah.
very excited. Very excited. Ah, my lovely friends. Thank you, sickos, for joining me and talking with me about Double or Nothing for these hours and hours. It was an absolutely brilliant chat. I've really enjoyed all of your input. I love having people on, especially who are my sicko friends, but also who have actually like been to the shows as well, because I feel like you give that, that extra something to, like to the the rundown, so to speak, those vibes. I really love hearing like what you guys have mentioned, like what did the slaps sound like, like what was this like, what was the vibe, what was the this like the explosions, like all of that kind of shit. So y'all, I really, really appreciate you so much. And with that, we're going to waffle off into the outro of Don't Call Me Diva. Everyone say goodbye, running down from, I know it's all me, but we're going to go and do a goodbye with a Jim. Say goodbye, Jim, and where people can find you if you want them to be finding you.
Goodbye, everybody. If you want to be finding me, I'm the JIMDB on your Blue Sky, your Threads, your Dropkick, your Letterbox, your find a social media account, and I'm probably there.
Love it. Jim, lovely sicko, best sicko, one of the best sickos. We're all great sickos, but he's a lovely, lovely man, very lovely man. And Sir Eric, where can we find you if you want to be found?
Hi, I'm Eric, and you can find me at the Eric G Life on all platforms.
Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me, Eric. He also does a wonderful show with the wonderful Shane, who we're going to pass on to now. Say goodbye and where everyone can find you, dear Shane.
You can find me behind this computer producing this podcast, Don't Call Me Diva, every week. And it's very fun. I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things. I look forward to it every week. You can also find me producing and co-hosting The Bar Exam, which also co-stars my brother and the lovely Al Rain and our homie Mr. Marcus TV. And you can also find me producing everything else on the Ethos Media Network. So yeah, follow us, subscribe, join the Patreon, all the good stuff. Appreciate you, Bex. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you, Eric and Shane and Jim, for joining me. Love you guys. It's been excellent. Brilliant freaking discussion. So, what are your thoughts, everyone? You can leave them all in a comment in the appropriate sections of wherever you happen to be right now. Let me know what your favorite moments from Double or Nothing are. Okay, one rule. You have to leave what your favorite women's wrestling moment was, but then after you've done that in sufficient amount of explanation, then you may leave a slight side comment about the men. I will allow it on this one. You're welcome. Don't say I don't do nothing for you. And if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe whilst you're there, I'd be very grateful. You can find moi lurking in the dungeons of threads at Bex_Bastet and under a tree at Blue Sky at Bex-Bastet. Today, we've had all these wonderful people on my show. These are the shout outs that we are having on this show. And thank you to everyone. Go to sickosclub.com and check out Sickos Club on Threads. You've never met a more inclusive, smart, kind, and talented bunch of silly sausages until you've hooked up with the Sickos. Okay? Thank you for stopping by. Don't call me Diva. Women's wrestling rules! And don't be a dick.